Man, oh man, it is good to be back in the booth. G. Bush is back. Everybody, get your coffee ready. Get it ready. We've been gone for what it feels like, 6, 7 years? This is what the game been missing. This is what happens when you be up out of here, bro. The game be missing this. I've been looking around. You see what it is. Stop playing around with me. And a lot of people, the game has been dry. Boy, oh boy. The game be dry without G. Bush, man. It's like having that turkey that you don't fry. It's like having that turkey that you ain't got no gravy on it. You ain't got nothing, no sides, no mashed potatoes. You got that turkey. And a lot of this turkey has been served to the people. And I've heard you loud and clear. Nobody wants that dry turkey. So now we get it going. G. Bush is back in the building. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for pulling up on me. We had some crazy stuff going on in my family. And you know, how we do, we family over here. I tell you, shout out to, because they be watching. Shout out to my Aunt Joanne, passed away on my mom's side of the family. And on my dad's side, my Aunt Dolores passed away. And it was one of them tough ones because, when you got people and elders and the people that hold you up, you know what I'm saying? Really, real big pillars of what the community is, pillars of what your family is. A lot of people don't be knowing, man. Some people that ain't that connected to their family don't be understanding. Like you lose your grandparents and you lose that glue that hold everybody together. And then you got the aunts and uncles that's right up underneath them. Like the aunts and uncles that's underneath them, the ones that's organizing, the ones that's always on the phone when something go down, the ones that's looking out for people, making sure people's eating, making sure you're doing the right stuff. When you lose them type elders, it'd be tough because you start to look around and say, man, who gonna pick up the slack? You know what I'm saying? Who gonna do that? So, we lost, in about a week's time, we lost 2 family members. We had a bunch of stuff going on with our family. And so, I want to shout out everybody that was holding me down. I got letters and different things, and people hit me up on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, even professional athletes. It was crazy to me. Shout out to them just for reaching out. They got games and different stuff, and guys got basketball games and football games, and they reached out just to say, hey, G. Bush, we saw what you put on Twitter and Facebook, when we appreciate you doing your thing, and we condolences to your family. So, I was off for about a week, and it was good to get around family, get around individuals. And so I want to thank you guys for your prayers and helping me get back on my feet and getting back to where we are today so we can have these conversations, because this is my therapy. This is truly my therapy. So thank you. We'll get that out of the way first and foremost. But let's get to this. Why I've been gone. Why I've been gone. The game has been missing the energy. The game has been missing the energy. And the great thing about leaving sometimes is then you can go away and get to your thoughts. You go to your thoughts and you understand, and you start to look at this game plan. You start to look at things. And because you out of the matrix, you got your own free thought, and you start to see things in a different way. And the future ain't hard to tell if you just look. And right now, the Cleveland Browns done told you a lot of different things. And a lot of people talk about, oh my gosh, this game against the Titans, this Titans game is not going to be that crazy, bro. It's not people, the tickets are, see, this is the reason why y'all don't be enlightened. The ticket prices, you think this is all about the ticket prices and how many, what tickets is going for? Good gracious. This is why G. Bush has to open up the barbershop and line you fools up. See, you didn't get it. You talk about ticket prices? This game is so much more than anything. This game is much more than anybody would talk about. Yeah, I see it. This game is way more. This is one of the most pivotal games on the schedule. And I'm going to tell you why. Buckle up. Because for a whole week, See, that's what happens when you got group think and group talk. This is what happens when somebody just keeps saying stuff. This is what happens when you ain't got nobody in here bringing receipts. We're going to get real business school in here tonight. We're going to get real business school in the building. We get business school in the building. We're going to tell you, and I'm going to give you the prediction. And it's all half this already written. I got your prediction for Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to give you a prediction what we're going to do in this game against Tennessee, what he needs to do, and how this pertains to moving forward, especially with this Cam Ward battle. Y'all going to be interested to see this. Please get your coffee ready. You know it's going to be special because I done had a week worth of material. I done went to sleep, woke up 7-8 days in a row with stuff in the back of my mind, right? And I've been unplugged from the grid. Please get your coffee ready because it's going to be liberating. I'm going to tell you what's going on with Andrew Berry. Bro, they've been telling you Andrew Berry been safe for about 3 or 4 weeks now. You didn't catch that? Oh, we got some more. The receipts is coming with that too. Oh, by the way, Kevin Stefanski. You're not off the hook, bro. I like what you was talking about. It was cute. You tried it. You tried it, didn't you, Kev? You tried it hard. You tried, didn't you? But let me tell you what's going to happen with Kevin Stefanski, because the writing is always on the wall with that too. We got a great show planned for you right here. Get locked in, loaded, ready to go. It's your boy G Bush. We back in the saddle. It is Saturday morning. Let's get it going because we got a lot to talk about. It ain't no time for half-stepping. Thanksgiving is over. We're going to get you ready for these presents. And we talking about what's under this tree right here on the Barbershop. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We ready to go. The future ain't hard to tell if you look. The Cleveland Browns have been giving away the secrets in plain sight. Let's first and foremost start with a little bit of a nugget that you say, G Bush, I can't believe you starting with this. Y'all notice something? Y'all notice why Teller was sitting down a little bit? Y'all notice why Teller ain't starting no more? Yeah, he was platooning in and out. Let me put it in the chat if you've seen that. Let me throw a 1 in there if you've seen Wyatt Teller not playing no more. Last week against the 49ers, he was moving around and, they was platooning him every other series. And you ask yourself, why is it Wyatt Teller, what's going on? Well, first of all, let's keep it real. Wyatt Teller wasn't playing all that well. Let's keep it real. Wyatt Teller, they'd have kicked the can down the road, $11, $12 million for Wyatt Teller. And let me just ask you something. Why would you at this point in time, why would you be having Wyatt Teller play right now? And they talk about, oh my gosh, I don't know why they're doing Wyatt so dirty. They're doing him so dirty. Let me just show y'all so we can get to something. You know what? I wasn't even going to start the show with this. Pardon me. Now, mind you, pardon me. Let's get to it. All this nonsense. Let's go ahead and get to this. Where you at? We just want to be concise and clear here. We want to make sure we got what we got going. See, because here's the thing too. This is your problem that you got with the Browns offense. Is you got a lot of guys who've been living off legacy for a long time. And here's why you need here's why you need this. Here's this work. Here we go. Yeah. Let me take this down. Now let's get it going. Wyatt Teller's 31 years old. Wyatt Teller's own, they talked about giving him another contract after 31. But here's his overall grade, 62.6. He's middle of the road when it comes to guards, 37th out of 79. Look at his pass block grade. This is what got him in trouble. Is the pass block grade. Remember the game against the Raiders? Remember, remember the game against the Ravens? The last play with Shedeur Sanders was in the football game on 4th down. They jumped the snap on him, and he turned around and did which way did he go and say he was offsides. No, bro, that was you. You just got beat off the snap, bro. Keep playing. He's 63rd out of 79, a 53.8 grade. He used to be an elite run blocker, right? An elite run blocker. 31 out of 79. You say, G. Bush, okay, you started off the show with Wyatt Teller. What does this mean, and why are you? What are we talking about here? Well, here's what you got to understand. Put the comments back up. There it is. The future ain't hard to tell if you look it. The Cleveland Browns is now gone all the way in on a youth movement up front. Wyatt Teller would not be playing this week. Tevin Jenkins is a guy who they are trying to figure out if he can play or not. Think about it like this. They got Tevin Jenkins as a free agent. Andrew Berry went out and got him. He was not playing because Ethan Poaches and Wyatt Teller and Joe Bitonio were in the mix. And that was the core of what the Browns have been doing since Kevin Stefanski was here. Did you think Kevin Stefanski sat him down for rotation purposes? You think that happened? You think Kevin told him, we're not playing Wyatt no more. Fine, give me Tevin Jenkins, because what we need to understand for next year is if we already know we're not going to bring Wyatt Teller back and give him no money. We already know that. What we need to figure out is, can Tevin Jenkins play? And if Tevin Jenkins can play, guess what we'll do? We're going to sign him. That'll be one of the linemen we can bring back. The future ain't hard to tell if you just look. But a lot of people I've been dealing with, a lot of people that be sitting up here reading these little pamphlets and going and low-hanging fruit, y'all don't see the forest for the trees, do you? Huh? You didn't see this move in plain sight? That's another move that Kevin Stefanski did not co-sign. And that's another move Andrew Berry and them have been moving around and trying to figure out what you do next year. Number 2, Deshaun Watson. Number 2, Deshaun Watson has been entered into the fold. You say, G. Bush, what does that mean? He's open his 21-day period. They can either sit Deshaun Watson if he doesn't play in this 21-day after the 21-day period, and then he can't play for the rest of the season. But he's out there practicing, doing whatever. Guess what? That puts a foil in everybody's plans talking about they about to cut Deshaun Watson for $80 million. Ask yourself, always think about this. You're not thinking about this from a personal standpoint. You're not thinking about this from what would G. Bush do, or how would I move, or if the Browns, everybody talked about getting rid of Deshaun Watson and his $80 million contract. Let me ask you from a billionaire standpoint, how many billionaires you know? How many billionaires do you know is moving around, throwing away money? How many of them? When Deshaun Watson wasn't no good, when Deshaun Watson, they said he wasn't no good, and when Deshaun Watson got injured, the first thing they said is you need to cut him. You need to trade him. You need to get rid of him. He doesn't need to be here. He doesn't need to be here. I think you just need to move on. Hey, listen, that's you and your emotional nature to it. The Haslam was like, so I'm going to pay him $80 million to go where? No, he's going to be right on this roster. And what is the downside to keeping him on the roster? Somebody got to start asking these questions. Somebody got to start asking these questions in a way. Where do you believe that Deshaun, if you get rid of Deshaun Watson for $80 million on optics, where do you think that's going to happen? Because after they got Deshaun Watson, They signed Isaiah Bond to a guaranteed contract, and he had allegations. They signed Quinshon Judkins. He never played in the preseason. Who cares? They signed him sight unseen, and he's playing. Mike Hall Jr. is still on the roster. He had issues. Where do you see, and what the Cleveland Browns have ever done, have told you that they're cutting Deshaun Watson for $80 million? And then you're going to take money off the table to field the rest of your roster? No, I call that you being emotional. You're virtue signaling. A lot of people are virtue signaling, and it don't be working like that. Like, you think that they're going to get rid of $80 million and then hamstring themselves? No. Deshaun Watson, I already told you what it was. Oh, my God. I don't know if you can do it. It's the boogeyman. Oh, Deshaun Watson, it was all his fault. It was all his fault. You can move and squirm all you want, bro. Don't mean it's right. What are you guys talking about? They've already made the gentleman's handshake. See, again, this is the way life works. This is the reason G. Bush gives you the barbershop and tells you the way it works. The way it works is this. Jimmy Haslam comes in and says, listen, Deshaun, work out like that. It's hurt. Listen, you're going to get your money. And as a matter of fact, what we want you to do, we want you to be a good soldier. We want you to be a good dude, a good dude. Our time frames didn't match up. We needed you when Baker was here. When Baker left unexpectedly, we needed somebody in that 3-year period. They got you with the 11-game suspension, my boy. They said 6, they got you with the 11. That basically put you out 2 years. You came back, you got injured with the shoulder. Then you came back injured with the Achilles. That was our time frame for us to win football games. Now that time frame is passed. We rebuild. So here's what we need to do. We can't cut you because we can't get rid of your contract. But what we want you to do, we want you to be a good soldier. We want you to get with these young dudes. We want you to make sure everything look good. We want you to make sure you ain't no headlines off the field. We want you to make sure that you rehabilitate yourself. And then, you know what us in the NFL is going to do? Because y'all keep operating like I don't know what the game is. I broke the news when we talked about Deshaun Watson. I was the one telling you about the collusion case. And everybody wants to talk about conspiracy theories and why there's a conspiracy theory, this, and that, when I was right on the first conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy theory when Kaepernick sued the league. Oh, it turned out to be true. It was a conspiracy theory when Gruden sued the league and turned out to be true. It was a conspiracy theory until Mike Florio broke the news that they did collude against Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns because of his contract. So when people get up there and we're jumping up and down talking about conspiracy theories, this and that, it's conspiracy theories until it's what? Was it not me? Did I not say that the NFL was robbing people of CTE money? Did I not say that we're using social norming against black players to say that they were cognitively deficient so they couldn't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they did have concussions or brain injuries? I'm the one who said that. I'm the one who told you, hey, what's going on with the NFL and how many how many people in the newsrooms? Where's the representation? All of these quote unquote conspiracy theories. Well, doggone it, G. Bush, they turned out to be true, didn't it? It's funny how that works, right? Funny how it works. Where them emails at? Where are them? Where them emails Gruden was talking about? That's why when y'all say is Gruden getting a job, I tell you no. You know why? There you have it. So, Deshaun Watson, if you do what you need to do, we will make sure you get another opportunity. And when we say we're talking about the collective identity, which is the NFL. You guys got to understand, they don't operate in a vacuum. They don't operate as one little group of individual and 32 owners. Stop. They band together. Their true power is the collective. The true power is this. The true power is I say what's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen. So Deshaun Watson will get another shot. 9 times out of 10, it won't be here. You say, G. Bush, what are we talking about? You just told us about Wyatt Teller. You just told us about Deshaun Watson. What's going on here? Well, here's the deafening part. What if, just what if, you're looking at this situation and you say, and this is the thing that people always get, they always mess this part up. Kevin Stefanski has been the leader of an architect of the Cleveland Browns offense since he got here. We talk about Deshaun Watson being garbage, terrible, all the above, letter D. Well, guess what? When Joe Flacco was here and he looked terrible and he went to Cincinnati and threw up all them yards, the indictment didn't move from Watson to Flacco to Gabriel to whatever. It moved from the players to the coach. What if I told you that Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam might not even think it was all Deshaun Watson? What if I told you that the data that they have and in the film work that they see, in the analysis that they put in and the data that proves, you know what? Deshaun Watson wasn't what he was, but he wasn't that bad. As a matter of fact, let's go down the line and look at all the quarterbacks. What if the evaluation is, hasn't been the players, it's been you, Kevin. But you notice something, it never gets back to that because you keep having stories like this. I always tell you people, make sure you drill down. Make sure you understand what's coming. Make sure you understand what it is because the push has always been Kevin is this great coach. Kevin is this great coach. He's a 2-time coach of the year. By the way, that is a writer's award. The Associated Press writes for that. And the Associated Press been telling you all kind of crazy stuff. They told you Kenny Pickett was good, didn't they? And Dylan Gabriel was a supercomputer. But as long as you keep having stories like this, you can understand something. In fact, if the Browns follow through on firing Kevin Stefanski, one AFC executive told, he's a good coach, experienced 2-time coach of the year. Cleveland is a hard place to win. He might need a fresh start elsewhere. Let me ask you a question. I always tell people, get down to the specifics. One of the best things that they ever teach you in debate class, what do they teach you in communications skills and how to be a person that puts people's feet to the fire, is make them be specific. What does he's a good coach mean? You're a good coach based on your metrics. You're a good coach based on your win-loss record. You're a good coach based on your development. You're a good coach based on your X's and O's. You're a good coach based on your communication. You tell me which one of those things he's good at. The record don't say it. The development don't say it with the quarterbacks. Huh? His communication style don't say it. As a matter of fact, he barely even talks. And when he does talk, he's never forthright. He doesn't even talk when it could help him out. Everybody was on his case about Shedeur Sanders playing, and all he had to do was say, you know what, we're excited about Shedeur, and we got this period called Hungry Dogs. And you know what? Shedeur be in there 2-3 times a week with me. I meet with him before practice and after practice. I'm excited. No, he couldn't even do that. That shows a level of stubbornness. And now the whole idea that I've been going a whole week. You thought you was going to get that off. Everybody, oh my gosh, can you believe that he's getting, why would Shadeur had a layup. He should have just said this. He should have just said that. He should have just said this. Well, listen, your coach has been here 6 years and don't say nothing. Your coach steps into it all the time. He's been doing this for 6 solid years. And you said nothing. And so now you want Shedeur Sanders to save his job. That's another tea leaf. because this right here is the equivalent of getting your Indeed or your LinkedIn profile together. This right here is the equivalent of your LinkedIn profile getting together. When you tell me all of this noise and jargon about why it's hard to win in Cleveland, yeah, it's hard to win in Cleveland if you ain't got the right people. It's hard to win in Cleveland if your offense is terrible. It's hard to win in Cleveland when you've got an offense that's stale, unimaginative, and by the way, you can tell he failed. He failed twice. He set 2 coordinators up. Why would you hand your playbook over to Dorsey, then fire and then take it back when it was done? Can somebody can somebody answer me this question? When somebody says Deshaun Watson ruined the whole thing, Deshaun Watson was injured after 6 games. What did he do the rest of the 13 or 14 or 12 games he had? And if it was so Deshaun Watson, why didn't Kevin Stefanski keep the playbook and prove that he was a coordinator and he could get the most out of anybody? Did he? No. He passed it along. I call that passing a buck. Not only did you do it last year and fired Dorsey, you took the playbook back. And then this year you did the same thing to another rookie coordinator in the middle of the season. You see, you don't have enough confidence and trust for people to do their part. You want to keep everything hands-on. I'm in control, I'm in control, I'm in control until it don't look good enough. That's a great one. A coach of the year that never won his division. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit too loud here. And when you have all of these doggone things coming out about why it is, you got all of this stuff coming out about how he'll get a job tomorrow. He'll be working here. The league around the league love him. People, well, good for him. That's all right. But see, I understand how it works. I understand how we get down, don't we? I completely understand how this works. You see, when you get ready to go to another job, let me just break this down to a common denominator. How many of y'all, when you get ready to leave a job, what do? First thing you do is update that resume, don't you? First thing you do. Matter of fact, so many people get caught up and get fired before they get let go is because they update their resume at work. They all on Indeed. Yeah, let me get my LinkedIn together. And the second thing that you do is you reach out to people in the industry who you may know and have relationships with to put some feelers out for you, because you can't do it, but you can sure have somebody else do it. Why do you think the Dan Orlovsky comments 3-4 weeks ago was strange? This guy is advocating that Kevin Stefanski should get the New York Giants job, and Dable just got fired. How are you advocating a name to watch? And it comes out they did. And by the way, y'all need to stop with that. Like we stupid in conspiracy theories. A connection is a connection. If you don't think somebody being part of the same agency is a connection, you think we're stupid. There's connections that people don't even know that be deep tied. But if you think that people in the same agency don't know each other, come on now. Even if Kevin Stefanski don't say nothing, the agent, his job is to make sure Dan Orlovsky and Kevin Stefanski stay gainfully employed. You know why? Because he gets a cut. Why would he want Kevin Stefanski to be unemployed? So even if Dan Orlovsky is saying that on behest of whoever it is or the agent, why do you think that's not valid? There's nothing heinous about it. It's just the way relationships work. People throw feelers out to see what's going on and how things move. Right? That's how they moving. So let's finish this up. Browns could fire Kevin Stefanski this offseason. When this Brown season mercifully ends, site insider Jeremy Fowler writes that Stefanski may be looking for an escape hatch as much as owner Jimmy Haslam. Oh, it's not you, it's me. That's a great one. How many people you done broke up with saying that same thing? How many people you done said that? Right? He's looking for escape hatch as much as owner Jimmy has him. Fowler writes, Kevin Stefanski's future comes up often in my conversations with people around the league due to the Browns' 6-23 record, hence the record we talked about earlier, the past 2 seasons. Another reason his name comes up, several executives and coaches I've spoke with to believe he's had he'd be a prime candidate for a head coaching job elsewhere should the Browns move on after the season. Well, great job for you. That's great. Sometimes that's just a better move, right? Kind of like this, right? Kind of like the move that we kind of talked about earlier. If you just watch, it's kind of how they told D. Podesta that he can go do the Rockies job in the middle of the year. See, the Browns has already been telling people to update your resume. They've been giving them a full, go ahead, do your thing. Do some due diligence, right? Future ain't hard to see and hard to tell if you look. And here's the most damning thing. The Browns might not even believe that all of the situation with this team and the offense is the fact that they're that bad or the lack of talent. They do have a lack of talent. Don't get that twisted. Let's be real. But the large percentage part of what's going on this offense has to do with design, scheme, and overall understanding and lack thereof of football. Let me just go to something. And this is what happens when we move stuff. This is what happens when you move around, you're moving these goalposts, right? Let me tell you what happened when you be moving these goalposts. Go back to the 49ers game. This is why you got to learn, study, and look at the game. The fact that people, and I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you like this, and I'm not going to back down on it. I don't know. I don't go around telling astronauts how to put their spacesuit on. I don't go around telling engineers the angles they need to measure in order to put up a skyscraper. I don't go around telling doctors how to prescribe what medication that you should be using after a surgery. I don't do that because they've done it and they've dedicated their entire lives to doing said skill set, said career path. But the fact that people be sitting up here because football is popular has nothing to do with their knowledge thereof of what's going on. I don't care how much you like football. I don't care if you watch it and you love watching it on TV and your friends convince you because you won your fantasy league 4 years in a row that you know what you're talking about. When I'm talking football, I'm conversing with the highest levels. There's film work involved. So when you have things that happen against the San Francisco 49ers, it's ridiculous. It shows the level of non-seriousness that happens in our local Browns community. We sat here all week. We talked about what Shedeur Sanders should be doing and how he should be talking to media members, asking them stupid questions. But you notice they don't ask the questions like this. Kevin Stefanski, can you explain something to me? Can you explain why it is a simple quarterback sneak you've decided to turn into some act of a magician? Why it is that you were infatuated with tight ends who block. Tight ends use their hands to block. They break fingers. They have injuries. Why are you infatuated with using tight ends in positions that quarterbacks are equipped to handle? You're asking a tight end to take a snap under center, and he does not take snaps. It is cold outside. He's not used to handling the ball. You know who is? A quarterback. Things like this is the reason that there are people at the highest levels of every single organization that are incompetent. 97% of bosses are incompetent. You think they got there because they was working hard? You think they got there because they can actually do what you do? You think they got there because they're better or smarter? Or no. 97% of bosses are people that can't do what you do, or do what they're telling their coworkers to do, or have the discipline to do what they're telling their workers to do, or have the intestinal fortitude to get to. And you meaning to tell me on pivotal downs, first of all, you went for it in your own territory on a 30 and a 3-point game. It's windy, who cares? But now you're going to have a tight end come into the football game, take a snap, and then you knew that people were running off the sideline late. You knew the play clock was running down. You know how you knew? Because you don't call plays anymore. The only thing you control is the timeout flag and the clock management, and you don't do that well. So for everybody writing these articles about why Kevin's a great coach, you tell me what great coaching happened in that play. The fact that you're putting a tight end, who's doing that? Well, certain quarterbacks don't like to sneak. Well, run the fullback then. Well, maybe they just want to, well, run wild dog then. Well, here's a nominal thought. And let me be honest with you. Let me just keep telling you this. This isn't the first time he's been doing it. He was doing this when you had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Prime. And you were bringing in third string tight ends to take direct snaps. That's arrogant. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And it's the reason people laugh at you. Make them tell you why. Make them tell you why. Hey, Kevin, what good is giving your playbook away when those are your plays you created? It's like doing wife swap. I never understood that show. You married somebody, they got some shortcomings, but you want to swap with another wife on TV? Nah, bro, you set that up. She is the way she is. Half that is due to you. I don't want no parts of the swap. Why would do you think that will be setting your offensive coordinator up for any sort of success when it is your concepts, your plays, your thought process, your imagination, and you tell somebody, you know what? Draw inside of the lines that I gave you, all while you don't have to take credit or any blame for what happens on the field. And then you sell it as, I'm doing what's best for the team. No, Kevin, you're doing what's best for yourself. Because if you really wanted to do what's best for your team, and you really thought Tommy Rees was a great coordinator, and he was a young and up-and-coming guy, you know what you would have done? You would have told Tommy Rees, hey, Tommy, we believe in you so much. You come up with your plays. You come up with your offense. You come up with your script. You come up with your formations that you want to run, your philosophies. You get with the offense, and you make it your own. But did he do that? No, he didn't do that. He handed that man a playbook that he know wasn't working, that he know was JV at best, that he knows 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks failed in, and he's going to turn that playbook over to another dude with 2 rookie quarterbacks? Stop. And you wonder why people say, maybe it wasn't Deshaun Watson. Because all quarterbacks seem to look alike and play alike. Anybody giving him a job, maybe he should sit out a year too. Maybe he might, because he needs to get his communication skills up. He's been passive aggressive with, how many people I could go down the list. Tell me, I want to put it in the chat. What's his best relationship? Name somebody that was good or had a name in the league that he actually got along with. I'll wait. Wasn't Jarvis or Odell. Really ain't Myles Garrett. We know you don't get along with Shedeur Sanders like that. Y'all keep trying to get Shedeur Sanders to cancel himself. We're not doing that. We're not stupid. Where is his relationship at? He fired his dude, Alex Van Pelt. Wasn't that your guy you came in here with? Where's the relationship? Deshaun Watson relationship ain't there. Flacco? Oh, okay. I'll wait. We're just talking. Let's get to some of these super chats real quick before we get to our next topic. We appreciate y'all pulling up. Meshach of Baltimore. Bro, the show was wilding. Without you, glad you back. Hey, listen, man, you know we back. We back in the building. We not gonna play no games with them. We right back. Checks and balances is in the building. G. Bush we trust. Appreciate you. Oh, they was tripping while you was gone. Throwing straight out. Bull was acting a fool. I had to turn it off. I'm sure they had, listen, you know what the great part about, I'm sure they had some crazy takes, you know. But you know, the cool thing about it is I come back in recharged, ready to go. Charged up. Let's go. 2,599 people in here. Wherever you at, hit that like button. Let's go. Same O-line that lifted 12 up, shaking my head. Salute G. Bush. J. Mac too fresh. Shedeur Timothy Sanders is going for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, double wrists up, and bared down from Chicago. Let me tell you something. This about to be this next segment. Trust me. Shedeur Sanders is set up. It's set. I can't believe it. I had to run to the booth because I couldn't. Nobody wasn't seeing this. That's the great thing about it. I had to run to the booth because nobody wasn't seeing what I was seeing this week against the Titans. Wait till we get to the angle and wherever you at, we going to get to this right after this. Shedeur Sanders is set up. Something crazy. And this angle is different. Right now, a lot of people is skipping over this game. This game for the Cleveland Browns is important for all bodies, all partners concerned. If you watch Ultimate Browns, I kind of alluded to it, but it's a little extra sauce on this one. By the way, I got to throw him for 278, 2 touchdowns. And the Browns roll. 27-10. I just let you know that right now. MP Tracks. I think Stefanski going to throw him a bone this week. Shedeur defended his character with the media. He owes him one about the ball. Here's what I'm saying. MP Tracks. Let me tell you this. As I silence my phone, you can tell I'm out of shape. They go on the week, you got your phone on, dog. What's up? Bad job out of you. Get your notifications off, G. Bush. You're doing nasty work. Here we go. Let me tell you this. I think that's gone. That's gone. They working directly with Tommy Rees. Wyatt Teller sitting down. Remember what I told you? That control, it be stripped away. The powers of the Black Panther will be stripped away. Remember what I told you? Week after week, it's either you getting power or you losing power. Which one is it? You think is Wyatt Teller sitting down? That was Kevin Stefanski? The trade of Joe Flacco, that was Stefanski? Come on now. They didn't took all that. They didn't got him together. That ain't even rolling. Prayers and condolences to you and yours, G. Bush. Thank you, Miss Bell. We appreciate you so much. Glad to be back with you. Deshaun will back up Shedeur next year. AB first 4 picks will be a receiver, O-line, free agent. Let me tell you something. If you're waiting for that, listen. That segment, Greg Cuz, that segment gonna be crazy. Wait till you get to the Andrew Berry fold of things. Because I'm gonna tell you what, Andrew Berry, they done told you all they need to know about him. He's been safe for about 10 weeks. Been safe. Miss Bell, I know I'm late, but Judy needs to take 2 seats. The one thing I know, the Jerry Judy slander is alive and well this week. Selmo for yo, G. Bush, a salute to both rookie quarterbacks. I'm going to enjoy watching these brothers go out there tomorrow and do what they do, love to do, and play the game. Selmo for, thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate the super chat. Y'all, this is why I be liking y'all. Y'all be stealing my topics. I'm gonna get to them. Y'all stealing my topics. Listen to the Reese press conference. He was giving an indication of some of those critical plays with subliminal Kevin call. These weird little plays they be running. Let me tell you something, and this is what I be trying to get at. If you running, think about this. Think about the evaluation. I done picked these players, right? And here's the reason why people is in a vacuum, because they so like cornered, looking around to find out any reason why Kevin Stefanski, it doesn't matter. I know the stats don't matter, the numbers don't matter. Y'all talk about people with Shedeur Sanders. This dude, Kevin Stefanski, got one of the biggest, his fans is wild. Like this dude, they'll tell you, oh my goodness, it wasn't his fault. They'll say it was Santa Claus's fault. Kevin Stefanski will forget to get half the stuff on his Christmas list, and these dudes are literally writing with the media. You know what? St. Nicholas is slipping on the bill. St. Nicholas is washed. Kevin Stefanski, half of the Christmas list didn't get bought. We need to write why Kevin Stefanski will still, he's the best. Bro, you forgot the Christmas list, dog. You gonna blame it on Santa Claus? Y'all cold. Kevin Stefanski is gonna, three reasons why Kevin Stefanski should be the new Santa Claus. Y'all cats have lost y'all's mind. If you don't think that these dudes in the front office that already peeped that your playbook is trash, they didn't already peep. They didn't already seen that you don't be putting people in the best positions. They didn't already seen your archaic little nasty little JV playbook. Why you think that they're like, okay, yeah. That's why the evaluation be looking like, is it really them or is it you? Or is it a combination of both? And that's what they're looking at. I'll give you the receipts. Ms. Bell, Coach Kevin Stefanski knew Shedeur wasn't a fifth-round talent. Let me tell you this. That fifth-round talent is about to be it's up. It's going to be up. We're going to talk about it coming up here in a minute. Trust me, we're going to get to it. Hey, G. Bush. Barry's now the head man in charge. He got rid of DePodesta. He's going to fire Kevin and pick the next head coach. Next season, Shedeur will be quarterback 1, Deshaun Watson quarterback 2, DG quarterback 3, and he'll draft 2 receivers with the first 2 picks. Armac, dog, I'm going to tell you why in a minute. That's not far-fetched. Because he's already activated Deshaun. He hasn't activated him. He's in his 21-game period. That don't sound like somebody they're going to cut this bait. Is they going to do that? By the way, I know that you guys did this magic trick, and we've told you all along the magic trick. I go away for a week, I come back, and the magic trick is, Shedeur Sanders is the one that lost the game against the 49ers. I said, what? What happened from Sunday to today? What happens from Sunday to today? Now, the thing that's already happened is this. Shedeur Sanders has played 2 games. They continue to already have make or break games. How was it a make or break game week 1, make or break week 2? It's because you're not interested in the evaluation. You never were in an evaluation. This is what happens when you're not being honest about what we're talking about. Again, how many weeks did Dylan Gabriel play? Again, how many games did Shedeur Sanders play? And by the way, we continually get these ridiculous comments. Guys, why are you trying to act like because Shedeur Sanders wasn't playing or wasn't getting reps that he wasn't preparing himself? Now, don't play stupid. Don't play dumb. How do you think you get used to the speed of the game? You freaking play. Like, don't be stupid. Like these guys, let's go ahead and let's just get real let's sit down. You got a kid. Your kid is 16 years old. He get his driver's permit, right? Is he ready to drive a car? No. Is he ready to get on the highway? No. Just because you got your learner's permit, does that mean that you are able to get in a car and operate a vehicle on an icy highway in the middle of winter by semi-trucks in West Virginia? No. Can you prepare for that by just sitting there watching? Well, he wasn't playing. He should have been preparing himself to play, so therefore he wasn't doing anything. Shut up. You are not that dense. You guys, you are not that dumb. Stop playing dumb. Would you let your child get in a car that you just got a permit, or do they have to go to driving school? I don't know what state you're in, but you got to have a certain amount of hours in the car before you could take the test. Then you have to pass the test: maneuverability, driving. And even as you get your license, and when you get your license, and the state deems that you are able to legally operate a car, does that truly mean you're a professional driver? No, it doesn't. It takes countless hours, countless time, meticulous notes, and you have to continue to have repetition. Now, the fact that this dude has not played, has not gotten no reps with no first team, and he's thrown in the middle of the season, you're telling me that he's supposed to have the speed of the game figured out? And two, you're not that dumb. It's called a disingenuous conversation. I would just listen. Just say, look, man, I'd rather just draft me a quarterback, or I don't know. I can't really say that because I was giving Dylan Gabriel all the benefit of it, but I don't know what you want to do. But let's not act like we're dumb here, guys. I don't like when adults play stupid. Darnell Strickland, appreciate the super chat. Neil Gray, why do Browns media members rather us to lose, tank now for 0% of drafting a quarterback in the first round goes up now that Shedeur is the starter? Let me show you this. Let's get to it. Neil Gray, thank you for the super chat. I had to get to it. Titans game is pivotal for sure, Sanders. And why is going head-to-head against Cam Ward a big opportunity? Somebody mentioned it before. The reason this is a great opportunity is this. You can't count on people that never evaluate nothing to evaluate for you. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. If everybody I ask say, did you watch him play in Colorado? And they say no, why would I care what you think? You just come on, bro. If I ask you, how many games have you seen Fernando Mendoza play? None. But I trust people. How many? What should I believe? Why should I hear you talk about anything? I shouldn't. So when you sit here telling me that this is how, I'm gonna give you an end card. This is how people tell on themselves. If they say, well, if the Browns believe, or if you believe that this person could be a franchise quarterback, then you take them. We ain't talking about if you believe. We're talking about whether it is or not. It ain't about if you believe. Again, you're talking in generalities. I need you to talk about specifically what quarterback X, quarterback Y, and quarterback Z have. And then I need you to tell me, if you believe quarterback X, Y, and Z, how that skill set translates to what we're talking about. They won't do that because they're not looking at it. They're going on, hey, let me just throw my opinion. If I say it's spicy enough, it'll hit. So when you're sitting around here talking about why you're going to draft a quarterback that you've never even seen play, is crazy. Two, I don't know how many quarterbacks over the part of the year that people have talked about and dismissed in 1 year. The list was different. The first list was Arch Manning and Sellers and them. right? Nowhere to be found. Then it was Cade Klubnik. Now he's nowhere to be found. Then it was Garrett Nussmeier, nowhere to be found. And then it was Mateer for a little bit for Oklahoma. Then he slipped out. And then it moved on. And then it was Dante Moore for a little bit. Then Dante Moore, not so much. Now it's Dante Moore again. Then it was Ty Simpson. Then Simpson, he should go back to school. Mendoza, he's been kind of specifically going along. He's been a guy that's always been kind of mentioned in that list. But the reality of the situation is there's multiple, Maava, they're out of USC. There's all these quarterbacks that Drew Allen, I keep going on. And what turned out to be the 2026 class turned into a meme because the quarterbacks in 26, not so much. And so what we have here in a game is Shedeur Sanders playing against the Tennessee Titans. And the reason this game is pivotal, and the reason this game is a high-level game that we will have an evaluation on is the fact that you see Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward side by side. Now, Cam Ward's job is a little more difficult because he's going against the Browns defense, which is better. But if Shedeur Sanders comes out here and outplays and looks like he's competent and puts up numbers and the Cleveland Browns win and he looks better, more comfortable, able to throw the ball downfield, hitting his reads, moving a team up and down the field, putting points on the board, and he looks better than Cam Ward, then what it tells you is this. They got Cam Ward, and they took him number 1 overall. We put some things around Shedeur Sanders. We eliminate this garbage playbook and get somebody in here that can actually be creative and call plays and let him sling it. We got us what we want. We got what we want. And there's going to be a direct representation and a direct comparison of what the number 1 overall pick looks like and the 5th round pick. You see, this is where the 5th round thing comes back to haunt you. Because you can't use 5th round as a negative and not at the same time be honest and keep it as a positive. You see, if he's a 5th round pick, and what 5th round picks gets a runway? What 5th round picks gets all this attention? What 5th round pick is guaranteed to get first team reps? Well, okay, well, if you want to use that, well, let me ask you this. What 5th round pick outduels the number 1 overall pick, who, by the way, has got reps since day 1 and was been a starter? So you telling me Shedeur Sanders with no offseason reps, with no runway, with 2 starts, can look just as good as the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, and he only did it in 2 weeks with no reps? That evaluation is scary. Because I'm looking at Cam Ward and I'm saying, okay, y'all thought that this was the unanimous number 1 guy? If my 5th round pick can do what that guy does that not validate what you have right now? That validates that I can, you know what? With tweaking, with putting some pieces around, with going to get me a coordinator, with getting me 2 stud receivers. If you telling me that I got a baseline of a number 1 overall pick, that he's outperformed, and by the way, the Cleveland Browns offense isn't crazy. We see what the offense look like. It's comparable to what the Titans are. Now I will give you this. The Browns defense is much more imposing than the Tennessee Titans. But let me just tell you this. The Browns offensive line ain't got Conklin. The Browns offensive line is in shambles. The Browns, we already talked about what Jerry Jeudy is talking about, right? So let me just show you a little something here. Here's where we get to this. Well, here we go. It's going to be dope. Let's take a look at what Cam Moore is doing this year. This is why when people talk about this evaluation and going to get another quarterback and all this other stuff, it is wild to me because you're just telling me, oh, I just don't, I don't like the quarterbacks. I want another one. It don't work that way in real life, bro. Let me tell you, let's look at Cam Ward. You see what selection he was taking? Round 1, selection 1. Right? His offensive grade is a 56.7. That's 36 out of 39 quarterbacks. He's young. He's 55.1. He's 37th out of 41 quarterbacks. Right? I don't even count his run grade because he don't run that much. But think about it. If that's the number 1 overall pick, and by the end of the year, your 5th round pick has better numbers than this, what are we talking about? See, you've moved the goalpost so many times that you'd have moved them past what the Browns even think. You'd have moved the goalpost so many times in your head, you all the way in another neighborhood, and you ain't even having the same conversation. The conversation is, do you have enough to build around him? Does he have the requisite skill set with other things? Because, by the way, your offensive coordinator and your offensive system is holding everybody back. That's one thing that you got to get. 56.7. Huh? Okay. Let's see if he can. Now, mind you, that's 36 out of 39. They talk about what the evaluation is. They talk about young dudes coming out of college now. Let me give you this scenario about Mendoza, by the way. I think Mendoza could be a good quarterback. We're going to see what he's going to talk about against Ohio State tonight. But let me ask you a question. I think Dane Brugler was on, and he said the Cleveland Browns, in order to get Mendoza, are going to have to trade and give. They're going to trade up and give you. They're going to give up the first pick, the Browns pick, which may be top 5. They're going to have to give the Jaguars pick, which is a later pick because the Jaguars keep winning. And they're going to have to give up something in next year's draft. So this is the reason why people don't, like, they talk about me being a Duke and knee-jerk. Where is your business savvy? Let me ask you a question. You don't have no linemen signed, period. You get good linemen in the first round and high in the draft. You sat here and railed about the fact that they gave up how many picks for Deshaun Watson. Here's the thing. Don't tell me about it's the player with the picks or whatever. You're willing to do whatever you want to do if it suits you. The same people jumping up and down talking about 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson is willing to give up them same picks for Mendoza. It's not about the play. It's about what you identified and if you like it or not. So you telling me you're going to give up all them picks to get a quarterback. And so you're going to bring in next year Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Fernando Mendoza. Not to mention that it took you 4 high-round assets to get Mendoza. Then what are you going to do? Have another quarterback competition? And then you'll say, but our quarterback's in 27, though. You're going to have another, you wasted those picks to have another quarterback competition with a worse offensive line than you had this year? And the same receiving core you had this year? Now, let me get this straight. You think that Mendoza is that cold that he could play behind a worse offensive line than we have now and Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, and that's going to have how many wins? By the way, if you're Andrew Berry and that happens, and you do get kept this year, you're going to get fired next year if you do that. Because they're going to say, Andrew Berry, You didn't address what we all knew you needed to address for 5 years. Think about this. Think about how malpractice, that's how they be thinking. You're not that smart. Stop trying to set people up. You're just not. You're telling me that you're going to go trade all your picks for a quarterback. And then when that quarterback gets in the game and they go 1 and something, and they're going to say, what? Because here's the point. At that point, if you're the first overall pick, they're not going to blame the first overall pick. They're going to blame who put the roster together. They're not going to throw Mendoza away after 6-7 games of being over. They're going to say, who put this quarterback, this poor young kid, in a terrible situation? Andrew Berry. You're going to be known as the quarterback killer because you didn't get Dylan Gabriel no offensive line. You put Shedeur Sanders, didn't give him offensive line. By the way, Deshaun Watson didn't have no weapons in offensive line. Now you drafted another quarterback. You got another competition, and they're going to say, why didn't you get this guy no lineman? Well, I had to use all the picks that we took to get him, so we didn't have anybody, so we ran it back. Boy, see how that works. Y'all think y'all be so smart. You make it make sense to me, people. But let me just tell you, if Shedeur outplays Cam Ward and he's the number 1 overall pick, does that mean he's a 5th-round pick? I need somebody to tell me that. I need somebody to let me know. Oh, by the way, this isn't just Cam Ward. You thought we was done with this? Why ain't nobody jumping up and down for this? Can y'all read this? He got picked where? First round, pick 8. This is Michael Penix. He's 35th on the list with a quarter offensive grade of 59.3. His pass grade is 36th out of 41 people. Let me ask you a question. Is he lighting the world on fire? Nope. He's a first-round pick. And he got Bijan Robinson. And he got Drake London. And he got Pitts. So you mean to tell me they willing to build around Michael Penix with Bijan Robinson? By the way, they already had your boy Kirk Cousins and gave him a boatload of money. So guess what? If Shedeur Sanders is better than Michael Penix, it turns out, and his numbers look better, he winning games, he comparable. What is the Falcons drafting a quarterback? Nope. So if the Browns got somebody that they think can play at that level, does that mean he's still a 5th-round pick? I need these answers. I need answers, fellas. I need to get them. This says round 1, selection 8. But yet and still, we just trying to figure something out. You see, when you move the goalpost so much, you got to bring people back to reality. These is first-round picks. Let's bring them all the way back to reality. Bring them back. Stop asking questions about sabotaging Kevin Stefanski. We're done with that. We talked about, hey, let's talk about this football field. Can we get to that? Oh, I'm not done. Can we talk about this one? By the way, this dude ain't never been better than Shedeur Sanders. You want to talk about giving? This dude didn't do nothing at Michigan. This dude got carried at Michigan. This dude never was that deal. And he went 10th overall. It's funny how that patience thing works for some people. 52.6. And these fools got rid of Sam Darnold so they could keep this guy. 52 points. You see what round he got drafted first? Right? First round, 10th selection. If Shedeur Sanders can play better than this guy, which I don't think is that difficult, you think that they're going to go into the draft and grab another quarterback? By the way, let me just tell you something. Deshaun Watson is better than J.J. McCarthy. He's better than Michael Penix. He's better than Cam Ward. Oh, here we go. Nobody's taking these guys over them. But somebody got to give you, somebody got to give you the work, right? Am I wrong here? Am I wrong here? Like these are the guys, these are the guys that, the franchise guys. These are the guys that, if you think J.J. McCarthy's that guy, you got to take him. You better get up out of here. J.J. McCarthy ain't never been good, ever. And guess what happens when you find out that the quarterback ain't good forever and injury prone? You're looking crazy. I might want to put Carson Wentz back in the game. This guy, let's keep it going. Because what I'm just trying to show you is, these guys are, the thought process of what this evaluation is wild. Just because you saw 2 games and you're like, oh, I don't like it. You think that they ain't doing that? See, the calculate, I'll get to the business aspect here in a second. I'm going to get to the business. So I'm going to see, here's what I'm running down. So one, it's a 1-part program. First part is Kevin Stefanski's offense hinders everybody. Number 1. You can't shine in this offense. That's number 1. It's so nasty, he gave up on his playbook twice. Number 2, you talk about these evaluations and you talk about quarterbacks in 26. The evaluation is, are you better than the quarterbacks that are currently here? And can you make something of somebody if they have better skill sets here? Because the only way you get out of jail free here with this situation with Deshaun Watson's contract is if you have a rookie quarterback making no money. If you don't think that the goal, see, this is what should have happened. But it didn't happen because Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year twice in a row, and he got to run his quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, out there. But the whole premise was this. He should have been doing this from Jump Street. We're going to play Shedeur Sanders. We're going to find out if he's good this year. We're going to give him the reps. We're going to give him the time. We're going to put the offense around him and see what it's looking like. But no, you slowed the roll. So, okay, you slowed the roll. Cool. We got these 2 games. We're gonna march on and continue to get what we need to do and figure out what we need to see. But the problem is this. Now, you're looking at, it's not about 20, it's about these other dudes these other dudes ain't jumped into nothing. What are these guys doing? Hold on, I ain't even meant to do this. Hold on, who is this dude? Oh, boy, I tell you. This is number 1 overall pick. They took him 1. You don't think Andrew Berry and that front office is looking around and saying, Bryce Young went number 1. 28th out of 39 quarterbacks, 64.4. His pass grade is 31st out of 41 quarterbacks. And let me just tell you, how many years he been here? This is 3rd year. These are his numbers in year 3. His rookie year was a 56.4. He been here year 3, bro. He had to come around, and he still ain't there. You guys don't understand. I couldn't believe y'all didn't see it. Y'all don't see it, do y'all? It's a shame. Because you're worried about following Kevin Stefanski everywhere like he's going to give you a job when he leaves. I've never understood that. I know you like him, but you still gonna have to deal with the new coach. You're still gonna have to do. The life goes on. The reality of the situation is this: when you look at what the Cleveland Browns are putting down on tape right now, and what they're doing, if they come out here and they ball out, and they come out here and do what they're supposed to do against the Tennessee Titans, and Shedeur Sanders looks better than the number 1 overall pick Cam Ward, and he's received every rep. The offense is put around him. He's received he can go out. Cam Ward can, think about this. Cam Ward can go out and throw 17 picks, and he's still the starting quarterback and going to get every rep. If Shedeur Sanders has a thought process where he's playing every week, he's fighting for his job, fighting for his life, fighting for his ability to stay the quarterback. If he can outduel that guy with a terrible offense, what are we talking about 2026? What are we talking about? And it'd be so funny because you guys know this. You guys know that the most glaring weakness for the Cleveland Browns is the offensive line. The matter of fact, you guys do such a bad job of hiding the fact that you know this, that you don't know which way you malfunction. You don't have anybody under contract. You can't even do that on Madden. Who are you getting? And then you see what the receiver core look like. And I've been saying this for 3 years, but you're advocating after you use assets on quarterbacks this year. One that was entirely too high in the third round. You're advocating that you're going to trade not only next year's picks, but the years after that to get a quarterback that you don't even know is better than a guy you got on your roster? Stop. It's too easy. It's easy money, guys. Guys, stop. It's funny. It's and Andrew Berry. They trying to trick you out your position. Because they're going to be the first ones to tell you it's malpractice because if you draft the quarterback and he put him and he getting hit and receivers ain't open, the first person they going to blame is who? Remember, you're the one who wanted Deshaun Watson. Not everybody. It was you. Remember, Andrew? Even though the owner came out and said it was a collective thing, even though Kevin Stefanski said he was on board, even though Dee Podesta said, hey, we all was in on it. But when it came down to the get down, it's mysteriously you. Only you. You were the leader. You think that's going to change? Yeah, Cleveland is a quarterback ruining place. They ruined this guy. They ruined that guy. But when you try to put them up and when you try to put people's pieces around and make them look good, no. Don't do that. Get you another quarterback so we can kill you next year for not understanding what the plan is at quarterback. No. Let's continue on. We cooking. 3,716 people in here. Wherever you at, hit the like button. Stop playing around. Let's get to this. Andrew Berry been safe for weeks. Bro. And I don't understand how y'all don't see this. I just go back to the relationship thing. In life, they always tell you, when you are going through something, when you're going through a divorce, don't make any life-altering moves. Say, what does that mean? When I got out of my divorce, the first thing people wanted me to do, giving away half of your stuff is very expensive. House, you got to separate debt, liabilities. And the first thing you do is you realize, dang, I'm starting over. And there's a knee-jerk reaction. There's something inside your heart that says, man, I'm kind of hurt by this. I'm angry. I'm salty. I'm a little impulsive right now. And they always tell you, the counselor says, hey, don't make no brash decisions. Don't make no rash decisions after a breakup. You're like, what? What you mean? Don't get a tattoo that says only God can judge me on your forehead. Don't go out and buy a brand new, sign a lease for a swank downtown apartment that costs $1,000 over your budget. Don't trade in your vehicle with 5 years left on it to pay for a new vehicle that they roll over at the bank. By the way, y'all need to stop doing that. That new vehicle you got now costs $90,000 more with interest, right? Don't get 7 credit cards and go out and buy a whole new wardrobe because you're going back out dating people again. Because you're emotionally, psychologically, and physically in a different place. You need to give yourself time, energy, and effort to make sure that you are in sound mind. Don't get into a new relationship either, because that can lead to another divorce. If you're still salty about the breakup, don't marry the next person you meet. Not a good idea. So you say, G. Bush, what are we talking about here? Well, for the last, I don't know how many years, D. Podesta been the chief strategy officer. And when you are a rich person, let me tell you how rich people think. I'm not rich myself, but I used to be a financial advisor, believe it or not. And the way rich people believe is that rich people have an infrastructure. Rich people believe in people that they trust. They believe in people who they feel are a little or on the same level or higher than they are. They want people that's buttoned up. They want people that are confident in the decisions they make, and they don't want nobody saying, I don't know. I don't know isn't a good one. Either you're going to tell the truth or not. You got to come up with something fast. The second you say, for rich people, if you hem and haw too much, you don't know what's going on. When you got D. Podesta, and he was the chief strategy officer, and he was here, and he predated everybody else, everything in that building ran through him. Chief strategy, that means your financials, that means the scouting department, that means how you market, that means all of that. What players you pick, all that good stuff. When you move on from him, and he's going back to baseball, always remember this. It's the devil you know versus the one you don't. You ever ask yourself this, how Bernie Madoff got everybody's money? Bernie Madoff was running the coldest Ponzi scheme in the world, and he wasn't even trying hard at it. You know why? It was by association. Oh, well, that dude is rich. He's successful. He's doing business with Bernie Madoff. Let me go do business with him. Can't be that bad. He's a smart guy. So Bernie Madoff never had to be smart. All he essentially had to do was attach himself and be around the right people and to get them to sign up, and the rest was light work, because you weren't proving yourself. Your association was what was the selling point. If John is smart over here and he's a billionaire, and there's a hedge fund guy over here, and there's an NBA owner over here, and there's an oil tycoon over here, and there's a guy who owns American Airlines over here, or all these people, pharmaceutical guys from all these different places, and they're doing business with Bernie Madoff, little millionaire old G. Bush, guess what he gonna say? Gotta work for them, I'm gonna sign up. It's the association. So now figure this. You figure out you've been had a little bit. D. Podesta didn't really know that much. He's like, dang, the drafts ain't been hitting. But Andrew Berry, this draft he got, Schlesinger, they didn't even know where he came from. You know what's intoxicating to people and owners and rich people is when you can find something nobody else can. Think about this. The context matters. Carson Schlesinger was not a household name. He played for UCLA and didn't even start till halfway during the season. Can you imagine if Andrew Berry comes and said, that's our guy right there. That's him. Not only do you draft him, he didn't start for his college team. And now he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. He might be a Pro Bowler. As a owner, a businessman, you're looking around like, note taking. Because guess what? You either get in power or you lose in power. He then looks at Kevin and say, okay, where's your superstar at, Kevin? One person banked their career on Carson Schlesinger. You banked your career on Dillon Gabriel. Y'all do not hear me talking. Y'all don't hear me talking right now. This is light work. Y'all need to dial in. I'm just showing you this. I can't believe this. I go away a week. I could not believe y'all didn't have this. How do you not have this? One person said, I'll take the guy that we haven't even seen play, and he turns out to be the defensive rookie of the year. The other guy was Dillon Gabriel. Which one are you taking? Quinshon Judkins said, oh, we might want Travion Henderson. You know what I'm saying? Travion Henderson. We might want Judkins. You know, we might want, what's to do? Oh, Ashton Jeanty. Hey, we wanted them. Then guess what comes out? All kind of allegations. Whew. And they was crazy. You know what Andrew Berry said? Not only am I going to take him, we're going to sign him. We're going to give him this money. And then we don't even need him to practice. He's just going to come inside unseen and he cooks. What? And guess what? Ashton Jeanty went what? That's first round. You got Judkins, who people think is a better back in the set. You know what rich people like? Diamonds in the rough. They want to turn over the leaf and say, look what value I got. Because you can't be rich unless you get in value. You can't be no billionaire. Then on top of that, so that's two. You drafted Mason Graham. You drafted Mason Graham. I was hot. But you know what you realized? I can draft Mason Graham. And I can hide him until he's ready to play. You know why? Because I'm going to sign Myles Garrett. After Myles Garrett said, trade me. You don't understand. That's another feather in the cap. See, Myles Garrett helps you evaluate Alex Wright. Myles Garrett helps you evaluate Isaiah McGuire. Malik Collins, I picked. He was leading the league in sacks till he untimely got hurt. But you know what? I still got Mike Hall Jr., who's coming off IR, and I used the second round pick on him, so he'll fill right in on in. And I got Mason Graham. And Myles Garrett, by the way, is going to break the all-time sack record in the year where he could have been playing for a whole nother team. That's another feather in your cap. And then here's the one that hits the most. Harold Fanning Jr., you took, and he's the best tight end and best rookie tight end in the league. It's really not even that close. Look at his targets. Look at his receptions. Look at his yards. Look how hard he fights downfield. If you would have just had those, just them little hits, you was already going to be the dude. But let me tell you this too. See, you're not thinking, you're not business people. See, you use the business when you want to use the business. But G. Bush, I got a business degree. See, I just don't talk sports talk. See, I got to let that be known. I got a business degree from Ohio University and communication. See, I got a lot of degrees. So let me talk that business to y'all, since you might not be understanding what the business game is. You not only hit on all your picks, but as a businessman, The person who's the most important is the guy who has an eye for the talent. When you're the mob boss, you don't pick the goons, right? You don't pick the goons. Michael Corleone is not around picking the guys on the lower level. It's the concierge. And you know what he does? He says, I like you. I got an eye for that. I like what you do. I need you to be a pit boss. Yeah, we running this little ring down here. I need you to handle the pit boss. We doing stuff that I need you to be over my little gambling spot over here. I need you to be an enforcer. I need you to be a muscle. I like how you don't say nothing. They pick the guys. Because here's the thing. The most important is the eye for the talent. Now, let me get this straight. You telling me that the guy who just picked all these folks and got all these hits, you're going to fire him after you left D. Podesta, after D. Podesta gone. So you ain't got it's just you and D. Haslam. And now you're going to trust a new strategy officer, a new general manager, and then the new general manager, you're going to trust him to get the new coach. And it's the most pivotal draft of your life. And you got 2 first-round picks. And you need to make a decision on whether or not you need a quarterback. And you need somebody to handle the books to be able to do mental gymnastics and have intimate knowledge of your... See, you ever notice this? They don't get rid of the CFO and the COO at the same time. Let me talk that corporate stuff. You can't afford to get rid of the entire accounting department and the operations department, because the accounting department understands where all of the hidden money is, all the minimum gymnastics that you was doing to keep the money, that make them books look a certain way, all of the different ways that they was maneuvering to maximize revenue, all of the different ways that they was doing depreciation, all of those ways is proprietary. You got rid of the whole accounting department, and the operations department understands where your vendors at. What ways to get rid of the products, what ways to have different shipping and receiving, to understand, yeah, we got a discount on this one. We work with him over here, but we also patronize him in this business, so we get a discount with that. Understanding, hey, you listen, I'm sending this. Maybe you got logistics all over the world. You think operations is important? Yeah. You got exchange currencies, exchange rates, shipping and receiving. What are you talking about? You got rid of both of the departments at once? Boy, this is why you don't let G. Bush leave for a week, because I come back with 35,000 schemes. So you just got rid of D. Podesta operating. Now you're going to get rid of Andrew Berry, and he the one who got to do mental gymnastics with Deshaun Watson's contract and find 6 new offensive linemen because ain't none of them run a contract? Which brings me to the quarterback. So you got enough money to field a team. You got a first-round quarterback and Deshaun Watson, $80 million. You see, the way the salary cap works is you're really not supposed to have that much money allocated to one position. And you have a 3rd-round asset on Dylan Gabriel. You traded up to get Shedeur Sanders as a 5th-round asset, which you could have used on linemen. And you have a boatload of money and assets, 3, 4, 5 first-round picks in Deshaun Watson and $80 million cap hit. And now you've invested another 3, 4, 5 first-round picks on Mendoza. Let me tell you a little something about accounting. Have you ever heard the term over-leveraged? Have you ever heard in your 401k when they talk about having a balanced risk assessment? Do you want all of your money in one area, in one sector? Do you want all your money in high yield stuff, taking risk with your retirement? No. You can't allocate that much resources to your quarterback room, because if you allocate those many resources to the quarterback room, you won't have a return on investment because you can't even put them in a position to do it. Why do you have a fleet of trucks? You doing shipping and receiving. You got 35 trucks, but your HR can't even put people in the trucks. You can't find drivers. So that load that's sitting out there that needs moved, you're losing money. That truck that you own, that you bought, purchased, is depreciating every week because you can't find the manpower to even get it done. See, business works a couple different ways, not just fantasy where I want to get a new quarterback. Let me tell you this too. See, Shedeur Sanders happens to be called what we call a lottery ticket. Now, let me tell you about this. Shedeur Sanders, I read something. Shout out to Jonathan Peeler. He says Shedeur Sanders is a top 5 Googleable person in the world. Let that sink in. He has been a Googleable, top 5 Google. Top 5. Now, let me understand this, right? Maybe I'm just kicking knowledge here. What billionaire does not want his brand awareness through the roof? So you got to do, as we so eloquently put it out, that could play at the same level that is a 5th round asset as a 1st round talent if he plays well against Cam Ward. You're telling me he's able to do that, and he has not been put in the best position to play, and he's been doing that exponentially over the last 2 weeks. He's only played 2 weeks, only started. He hasn't got no reps. So he's able to compete at that level with 2 weeks. You're telling me he has a global fan base. You're telling me that he builds another generation of fans. By the way, we talk about all the time. There's a generation of Browns fans that die every single week. There's 2 generations of people that ain't never seen the Browns do nothing since Bernie Kosar. The most powerful thing in the world, and governments and people have been doing it forever, is selling hope. I didn't do it. Hey, man, his grandchildren got the 12 jerseys. I'm just saying. So you telling me I can draft positions of need, put them on a team, put an infrastructure around them, get a coach that know what he's doing, and then play in 2026 and have a whole runway? I can market that. I can sell that. I can build around that. And it gives me a completely different mindset. And then on top of that, you're going to get a brand new optimism because the same stale old coach ain't here for 6 years. New season, new reason. You can create excitement. You can create revenue. You can sell tickets. You gain a global fan base. And in turn, you can actually mitigate what Deshaun Watson's deal was. Why do I have to get rid of Deshaun Watson if I build around Shedeur Sanders? Deshaun Watson is a good soldier, and I can use that $80 million to do what? Build a roster, build a team, build an infrastructure, build momentum. And I got a stadium coming up in 29. You know, the best way to sell tickets to that stadium is to sell season tickets to people who have a global brand, to sell season tickets to people that will fly from everywhere to come see them play. See, y'all don't get it. You just don't. Maybe I'm just saying it. Jimmy Haslam wants to be Jerry. Jimmy wants to be Jerry. And you ask yourself, how do you become America's team? How do you beat the Cowboys? I'm just telling you what the business people are saying. You can bank on that guy. If he can play, they're already told him, Jimmy, if he can play, this is how much money you'll make. What you think they ain't got you think that they ain't got flow charts and spreadsheets that saying this stuff? If this guy can play, you become the new Dallas Cowboys. The Cleveland Browns ain't been good. The Cleveland Browns ain't been good since 89. Ain't been good since 89. Ain't did nothing. You get a new fan base. You got a new stadium coming. You got a new coach. You got new energy. You already done sold all the jerseys in the world. Can you imagine what you going to do? And on top of it, he can play. He's shown that he got the requisite skill sets to play. So what I'm telling y'all is, y'all didn't even know this game was pivotal. This is 3 steps ahead. This game signifies we're going to see if he got it, because they're trying to get you in that accelerated learning program. We want to get on that accelerated learning program. You think on one end, the return on let me tell you something. The return on investment for a good Fernando Mendoza is not even the same return on investment with an average Shedeur Sanders. People don't be hearing what what are you talking about? You think them seat licenses, and you guys didn't get it. You guys didn't get it. When he put them prices up for them seat licenses, when he put them is legendary seat PSLs. Them seat licenses wasn't for no, hey, I've been going to the stadium since I was 8 years old. They didn't already phased it all the way out. That's been phased. Been phased. It's been phased. So you guys can, you debate or whatever you want to debate. But the business side, you know what the business say. You know what the marketing say. You know what the general manager is thinking. Right? You know what the general manager is thinking. The only thing left is the proof. And you got the opportunity this weekend to see the proof. This isn't just a game between 2 bad teams with quarterbacks that we thought was going to be decent last year in the draft. This game is, if the Cleveland Browns lose this game, if they lose, they got a 14% chance of getting the first round pick, the first number 1 overall pick. If the Cleveland Browns win this football game, which I believe they will win this football game, they have a less than 0% chance. Less than 0% chance. Less than 1% chance of getting the first overall pick. You can see it. So you might as well chalk it up. If they win 2-3 more games, it's a wrap. Dunsky. You're not getting no quarterback. It's not even what it is. And by the way, I know we'll all be tuned in. I know we'll all be tuned in tonight. 8 o'clock. Fernando Mendoza takes on the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Big Ten championship game. Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to be all over it. Fernando Mendoza. By the way, I got to say, listen, let me put that back up there. Put that back up there. Where is that? I got to show. Listen, this is love. This is wild. Sandra speaks truth. Is this a typo? Is this a typo? Is that correct? Rose, is that 50? Is that literally 50? 50. I had to get with the accounting staff. That is Sandra. Thank you so that you are so 50 memberships. By the way, I don't control the memberships. They go to people randomly. That's how it works in YouTube. But here's the thing. Coming up this week, we are back at it. I missed because, we had some deaths in the family. I missed last week. But coming up on Tuesday, we're gonna get to it. We got the film review on Wednesday. We also got Tuesday. We got a special guest pulling up on. So if you guys are part of it, understand we back at it Tuesday and Wednesday coming up this week. So for all our members, we appreciate you. Want to thank you guys for all those people that have been down, holding us down. We will be members only members. We'll be back with you this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, ready to go. Thank you so much. Let's get to this. Let me throw this out here. I know I'm going over along a little bit, but I wanted to make sure we good and squared away. I want to make sure we squared away. Let me talk to you real quick, Shadeur. Let me talk to you real quick. This is it. Not saying this is it. Like, oh my God, if you don't do anything this game, you're done. We ain't talk about that. This is your opportunity. See, sometimes when you go around, and I remember playing like this a little bit too. I remember sometimes when I went to McKinley, I grew up in a winning environment. And I grew up in an environment where I saw nothing but success. 2 state championships, all Ohio, one of the best teams in the country, national championship team, USA Today. And when you grow up and you don't lose games, and I can count on my hand how many games we lost in all sports. We never lost in basketball. See, when you play 3 sports, it just hits you like that. And one of the things that always hit me was when you playing it with great people and you playing with like-minded individuals, you have a synergy involved. You have a synergy in which it's a collective thing where you guys both are trying to maximize what you're doing. You're trying to do it at the highest level. And each hand washes the other one. Each hand is propelling the next guy forward. It's all you're competing, but at the same time, it's brotherhood, it's camaraderie involved. And so when you go from that situation to get in college and you go 1-10 your first year, there's a thing that you start to understand and the things that you start to get. So my brother came up and I had starting and we were 1-10, or that year we was like 1-10. And he came up at the end of my freshman year. And he came to visit. He was in high school. So, I'm thinking about partying, going out, taking him out on the town, doing things. And so we go to a game, and I played on like Saturday. And my brother is like 16, 17, about 16 at the time. And he like, yo, man. He said, yo, hey, man, what's going on with you? I'm like, what you mean what's going on with me? He said, bro, why you playing like that? I said, huh? He said, what you mean why I'm playing like that? I said, what you talking about, Bryson? He said, bro, your swag is off. He said, bro, you be out there in your gap. Don't nobody care about you being in your gap. Like, that's bare minimum. We trying to, you make plays. I'm like, dang, I never saw it like that. We go out, we talking. He said, bro, what's up with your fit? I'm like, what? He said, bro, why you wearing this jeans and t-shirts? You G Bush. You stay with it on at all times. What happened to the dude that used to change 3-4 times? I said, dang, bro. Maybe you're right. We moving around. He like, your energy level is different. Yet what you talk about is different. And then what I realized what he was saying is when you're around losing and you're around people that ain't never won nothing, and when you're around people that ain't never did nothing on a high level, when you're around people that's mediocre, when you're around people that's just good enough, just getting by, that wears off on you. And you don't even know it. Mediocreness just wear off on you. What you is, your core identity of what you is here. And sometimes you get wore down because you're trying to make up for the other cats. You're trying to figure it out. You're like, bro, it's just like pulling teeth. You know, it's glow seekers. You ever see them dark pits, a person come around, then that attitude is negative. They always talking, they always got something bad to say. You ask them how they doing in the grocery line, they say, oh, well, my cat's sick, the weather's bad, I don't have any money. You're like, bro, I just asked how you was doing. I didn't ask all that. The reality of the situation is this. Tomorrow, I like your energy when you was with Cam Ward in the pre-draft. See, I watched the pre-draft stuff, you know. I seen that. Yeah, I seen how Cam Ward was looking. I see how Cam was talking. I see the little rivalry button, right? Tomorrow's where you can really go ahead and put that to bed. See, tomorrow it ain't just about keeping the game safe and going out here and doing what you need to do. You need to go out there. You need to put on. Let it go. I know it's hard to trust people. I know it's hard to trust to throw where you're supposed to be at. But the difference is you got the it. Let it go. Get to that third step. Boom, I'm letting it go. Let it fly. Play fun. Play easy. And play like yourself. You see, Kevin Stefanski, he has a thing that all quarterbacks play this way. I saw Deshaun Watson do it. I seen Dylan Gabriel do it. I saw Joe Flacco doing it. Check down, Charlie. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do. Listen, that's the reason I know it always be the same. Because all the quarterbacks play the same. It's the same training wheels. But just understand, that ain't the way you play. Play free, play energetic, and go out there and cook. Because I'm going to tell you what. If you could put them on film, and let's keep it going. I know they told, listen, hold on. I know they told you, yeah, don't be doing this too much. Nah, I need to see that 7 times. I need to see it 8 times. Don't let no suckers dim your light. Yo, listen, the Bible says if the devil can't steal your joy, he can't keep your goods and your blessings. You got to play with joy, exuberance. I got to dance. I got to look good. I got to play good. Stop asking me these questions about what I'm doing and why I just, some people don't be celebrating. I be telling Sean King all the time, I love Sean King to death, but Sean King, we're going to do this every time. I'm going to be G. Bush every time you see me. If your comfort level is not built around what I'm doing, don't let nobody dim your light for nothing, because that's your superpower. That's your real power. Don't ever let nobody dim your light. If this is what you do and you put that Rollie on, sometimes it takes heart to wear a Rolex watch. Some of you Timex dudes don't know how to wear the Rollie right. If you got the Rollie on, the rest of your fit got to be right too. See, that's your problem. A Rollie lifestyle is different. If I'm used to the Rollie and I got the Louis Vuittons on, I'm sorry. If you're used to a Timex, you better get your fit together. You can't have a Rollie on with them little cargo pants. That ain't going to get it done. Do not let losing and people dim your light. You let them come to the light. You play with exuberance. You play with energy. You play with effort. You play with charisma. You play with flair. You play for the dramatic. And you just let it hang out and do what you do. Don't let Cleveland drag you down to where Cleveland is at. What you tell me, you want to elevate. You said if you want to change the culture, you know how you change that culture? That energy. And you got a great matchup. Cam Warren, number 1 overall. You a 5th round pick. Do you think that was accurate? I know that's your guy. Can't wear no Rolex and cargos, bro. You still wearing Arizona jeans, straight leg jeans. I don't like you straight leg jeans guys. Go out there and prove. Because what you're going to say is 5th round this, 5th round that. The 5th round pick just smoked the first quarterback overall. That's what you're supposed to say. You got an opportunity to prove it. Don't say, hey, it just ain't the jersey sales. I'm about to go out here and cook. And here's what you do. You continue to cook. You continue to be yourself. You continue. Don't let nobody listen. Don't let anybody tell you, hey, what do you think about Kevin? Stop asking me about Kevin Stefanski and ask me about these touchdowns I just threw on you. Y'all want to talk touchdowns? I got you. We need to see the celebration. We need you to big. Hey, you tell Jerry, hey, come here, Jerry. Hey, Jerry, you get over here. You've been doing too much. You know you've been doing too much, right? But here's what we're going to do. You want to get this 100 yards real quick? You want to get this 100 real quick? 100 yards real quick? I'm saying right here, Steve better stand next to this money. Stand next to this money. I got 100 for you out here if you want to get it. That's the energy we need. All this doom and gloom and, the quarterback and what are we going to do? Woe is me, bro. You're in a position to cook. You're in a position to get it. You already got it. You're already sitting in it. All you got to do is live in it. Don't let nobody tell you. You see, it's a lot of dudes out there. They want to put, listen, your life is miserable. Your life is miserable. My life is great. We're going to be out here cooking. Sheesh. We 4,523 people. I just had to talk because I be feeling like sometimes y'all be letting people, I know, I live in the media. I work in the media. I be living around in here and they'll get on you and you be sitting around and the doom and gloom. Oh my gosh, the Browns, the fans are so sorry. The will with me. Oh my gosh, the Browns, we will never get out of this factory of sadness. Shut your mouth up. Get on the train. If you want to die off and go lay in the ditch over there, feel free. All I need is a couple. All I need is 2 or 3. I need some real ones, and let's ride. Y'all catch back up to the train when y'all done feeling sorry for yourself. But as for me and mine, let's get this money. Let's go out there and prove something. Because tomorrow's a great opportunity. If you go out here and outdo Cam Ward, you go out here and put that on tape. You're supposed to be playing to get you Cardinal Tate. That's the receiver you want. Don't let nobody dim your light, bro. Don't let nobody, listen, these guys ask you questions because they can't do. They ask you questions about dumb stuff because they can't do. Do not let them steal your energy. The energy is the key. Your energy, your confidence, where you think. You think them folks, you think I care what people talking about G. Bush? You think I care about you? Not me. You can't do what I do. You can't do what I do. What are you talking about? Let's cook. Man, you go away 1 week all of a sudden. I can't believe y'all was out here capping like that. I got him for 278, 2 touchdowns. And guess what? We're going to do it again. Let's get to these super chats. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Where we at? Where we at? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Weird Vet 81. Why is Wyatt Teller out this week? I don't understand injury / punishment. They be doing here's the thing. They be doing a lot of weird stuff. Well, first Wyatt Teller said he was told he was going to be rotating in. Then Wyatt Teller then said he was not injured. Then Wyatt Teller all of a sudden ended up on the injury report, and now he's not playing. My guess is this, Weird Vet, is that the Cleveland Browns either are looking and being like, we need to figure out who's going to be on this roster next year. If we're not going to sign Wyatt Teller next year, we need to find out if the guy behind him can play and if he's going to be a guy that we can sign. This also goes to show you that there's two different supporting details in casts. Kevin Stefanski probably would not take Wyatt Teller out of the game. You know why? Because he believes Wyatt Teller is his guy and he's going to have to give him the best chance to win. Andrew Berry in the front office is like, well, listen, according to this film work, he hasn't been playing well. We signed Tevin Jenkins. We're not going to sign him back next year. We got to figure out what we're doing. So that is where I go with it. Sapper Daddy, the Mendoza trade would literally be the Watson trade 2.0, and they don't see that. Sapper Daddy, it literally is. This is why some people, I always tell people, this is why I don't argue with people really too much no more on short form. I don't argue with people on short form because they turn the conversation into something and then they filibuster and then they move the goalposts and they do all these little mental gymnastics things, right? I use my show as a long form content so that I can extrapolate and really give you exactly why I feel the way I do so it makes sense. If you trade for Mendoza, and I'm on record, listen, I think he could be a good quarterback. So I'm not a hater. We're going to see what he do tonight, though. I'm not a hater. But the reality is, if you making that move for him, and think about it, if he goes out and plays well, and he's the only surefire number one pick, are you getting him? No, the price tag is absurd. And so, and I'm not even, and so my thing is, you're going to trade all them future assets for a guy, and you just told me, oh, the Deshaun Watson thing set us back 3 years, and he's still on your roster. But you're going to tell me after 2 games that you know about Shedeur saying, stop. These guys be crazy. Make it make sense. When you're looking at $80 million in cap hits, you can't afford to trade draft capital anymore. You need players. But they're not, listen, Sapper Dad, this is crazy. They're not speaking from a level of roster building, roster management, and developing, and being actually good. This is fantasy football at its highest levels. You're telling me because you're uncomfortable, and the fact is you're not even that uncomfortable. Call it what you want. A lot of people just don't like Deshaun Watson, right? They just don't like Deshaun Watson for everything, the package that came with it, and the fact that it's the draft picks, the fact they moved on from Baker, and people fault him as the guy that replaced Baker. Let's just be clear. But you just need to move on. Nobody says that. What kind of crap is that? I ain't moving on for what? Is he harming someone? Is he prohibiting the rest of the players from doing their job? Is he verbally abusive? Is he disruptive? As a matter of fact, he's none of those things. He's actually helping your young quarterbacks out. So you ask yourself, why is it that you want to move on from him? Because it's not everybody else's problem. That seems like a you problem. And you want to move the picks? So you want to get rid of the cap space that we got to get players and at the same time trade more picks to get another quarterback and then move on from this quarterback. So now you don't have the cap space to get free agents and you don't have draft picks because you traded them to get the quarterback. Oh my gosh. Make it make sense, people. Angela. Shedeur has always was always the better quarterback in the draft. Kevin will not unleash Shedeur against the Titans. Pee Wee League plays. Nah, here's what I'm gonna tell you. I got a sneaking suspicion that some of those training wheels will be removed this week. Because with every frequency in the story about Kevin Stefanski and why he's going to get another job somewhere else, for every story you see to that's more power that you done lost. That's a guarantee. He didn't got his LinkedIn is together. His LinkedIn is together. David Walker, what up, G? I did the research, and only the Buckeyes quarterback has the numbers that Shedeur Sanders had for his junior year. If he's not ready, then they won't be. The crew may not be sabotaging him, but they're not letting him cook either. This is why I get, listen, this is why, let me explain this for everybody involved. And you can use this. Feel free to use this. See how they do? They'll take a word, jump on it, make it the boogeyman, and make it the talking point. The talking point is sabotage, right? The word sabotage denotes that they're purposely doing something to hinder the development of Shedeur Sanders. And then they ask him, do you believe Kevin Stefanski is sabotaging you? So now, sabotage is such a strong word that people are saying how ridiculous it is, the fact that you ask the head coach is sabotaging a quarterback. Why would he sabotage? Because you use the choice of word sabotage. Here's what I call it. I call it incompetence. Your playbook, your offensive concepts are terrible. They are not up to NFL standards. They are boring. They are vanilla. They are predictable, and they do not lead to success in the NFL. If you want to call that something else other than sabotage, fine. Call it incompetence. But it's something I've been saying before Shedeur Sanders got here. See, that's the problem they got with all this. I've been here 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. I was here. Let me tell you something. I was here before Kevin Stefanski was here. I was doing this before he was here and all of it. And for the last 6 years, I've been pointing out this nasty little playbook that he got that was bagged and people were sitting all over before. So, no, don't change the subject and switch it to sabotage. I just don't think you're that good at your job. You see how easy that is? I don't think as an offensive coordinator, as an offensive mind, you are very creative and are an elite play caller. I don't think you handle time management well. I definitely don't understand your fixation with all of these ridiculous plays. You can't, so don't throw sabotage out. We're talking about whether or not he's competent. And anybody for 2 years in a row who turns their playbook over in the middle of the year because it's not working is not competent. So no, you're not going to get me on the sabotage game and talking points about circular arguments about whether it's sabotage or not. I want you to hear you say your circular argument about how come his playbook is this nasty. Sapper Daddy, the lack of patience in the fan base is crazy. Y'all just want to hold draft parties and discuss players, and it won't be good because they have no support where they need, and plus your staff is trash. Well, that's what we're good at. That's what we're good at. By the way, it's not patience. Again, think about it. How hard is it to ask a 5-year-old to be patient? They don't have a concept of that. What do you mean patience? She's 5. He's 5. This fan base has never seen winning. How would they know what winning looks like? How would they understand what real organizations do? How would they understand? We've drafted quarterback after quarterback. We told them last year, you need receivers. Why you think I want Travis Hunter? We said the year before that, are you going to trade for a receiver, right? We've talked about this for years. We have no lineman signed. And even though they have no lineman signed, they still want a quarter. So here's the reality. They're not talking out of a wish to see what's best for the Cleveland Browns. They're like, listen, half the people opine on quarterbacks based on whether they like them or they don't. If politics should have taught you anything, and this is the reason why it's important to talk about human nature when it comes to politics, because sports is political and tribal. Most people do not vote based on their own need or what's best. They vote on who they like or they can resonate with. That's it. So if you're asking why people ain't got patience for quarterbacks that they don't like, if they don't like them, they're not going to have patience even if they're good. They'll just make up a reason why they're not patient or why they should be gone. QC Concrete, Super Sticker, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Miss Melanated says the reason Shedeur is in the 5th round is because he's confident and he's has the power equity clause in his contract. Follow the money. Shedeur is making more money than a lot of vets. They know Shedeur is better. And he already got the bag. That's another thing too. Understand this too. A lot of this has pivoted and changed because of NIL deals. When I was coming up, it was more along the lines of you should be lucky to get a scholarship and we're going to get everybody else rich, not you. So NIL has come around and has changed the way people view athletes. Nowadays, athletes, they talk about them ruining the game and super this and that. It's just NIL is ruining it. No, when people start getting money, people start looking at it differently. They start looking at you a little bit differently. J Mac Too Fresh, G Bush cooking with grannies can can of lard and sits it on the stove top, double wrist up. Hey, that beef tallow, that lard up there, that cooked different, that fried different. You put it up with one of them cast iron skillets. James Woodard, what you think about the Raiders ex-coach? Pierce? I like Pierce. Pierce actually said they was going to take Shedeur Sanders too. I like him. I need the Cleveland Browns to get me. I need a different vibe, bro. They need a different vibe, bro. I need somebody that can inspire some people, get some offense going. Give me a coordinator too. Give me somebody. Look, man. David Walker, AB stays, Kevin goes. Brian Flores is head coach, keeps Schwartz as defensive coordinator, Brian Leftwich is offensive coordinator, and get a special teams coach. Build around Shedeur with a better offense line, receiver core using picks that you have. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad about that. And the thing about it is, like, these people don't even be knowing. Like, the great part about it is, if you do build around Shedeur Sanders and he shows you what he can do, you put it in a situation where the Deshaun Watson contract is up and that's done out of the way. You only invested a 5th round pick in him. If you decide something goes astray and it looks terrible or he gets hurt or something, you still can go and get another quarterback. And like, he's a 5th round pick. I'm sitting here thinking like they thinking. I'm not thinking like, oh, G Bush, what would you do? You already know what I would be doing. I already done told you. I would have been played him since day one, gave him all the reps, and let's cook. But I'm thinking how they thinking. And the scary part is, how y'all not see that? Why would you think he's going to throw a lottery ticket away? Why would you, like, come on, for what? That don't make no sense. And if Andrew Berry is here, why do you think that he would not prop up the guy he picked? Angela, Shedeur played with a bad offensive line for 2 years, but he had good receivers. Now, if the Browns had some good receivers and a better play calling, the narrative wouldn't be the same. I think if they gave him one complimentary receiver in any line, listen, and in the play caller, you might be able to get something with just the play caller. Like, it's not like this dude got the advantages of, That's the thing. That's the reason I gave him the prep talk. He don't need no pep talk. But one thing he does need to do is say, listen, play with freedom. And freedom comes with playing with ease. And ease comes with just trusting it. I know it sucks. Sometimes you think a receiver ain't going to be there. There were some windows and throws in that game. I watched the all 22 briefly. I had a lot going on last week. But there are some throws where he could have threw the ball. He could have threw the ball and let it go to Jerry Jeudy. He could have let the ball go. But sometimes, you know, when you don't know, and I keep trying to explain to people, is not only do I got to see the same coverage, but the receiver got to see the same coverage, right? If I'm throwing in a man-to-man coverage, it's different where I think the receiver going to be. If he's going to be in cover two, I'm trusting that he's going to settle in the spot, and I got to throw it with anticipation. And the thing that happens in Kevin Stefanski's system is because he always preaches no turnovers, no turnovers, no turnovers. Don't throw the ball away. Don't put the ball in harm's way. Listen, just the same way now now it's the sacks are the boogeyman. He's retreating. But listen, sacks is part of the game. Do you want to take 10 sacks? No. But if you're playing against Myles Garrett, sacks are going to happen. If you're playing against Max Crosby, TJ Watt, sacks are going to happen. We turn everything into a boogeyman. Throwing the football in some places where you got to let it go right now, that's a thing. So what you need to see and what we need to see is, let's get it going. Yeah, you're going to throw some interceptions, but here's what I'm going to say. You may throw some picks, you may put it in harm's way, but guess what? The evaluation ain't going to be that this guy, he's not going to push the ball downfield. Make something happen, let's cook, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I was totally in the wrong key, too. Keith and Graham. Hey, can you talk about the O-line that has been shown that they need to, they've been missing tackles on purpose on 4th and long? Listen, the offensive line is not good. I've been talking about this offensive line for years. I think Nick Chubb kind of overinflated what they've been able to do. Him and Kareem Hunt, when they was here in their prime, they made a lot of guys miss. If you look at what's going on right now, guys are getting hit in the backfield. Quinshon Judkins gets the ball. It's always a guy. I don't know who they're blocking. Another thing that we need to talk about is, let me just explain to you guys this. Kevin Stefanski is in charge of the run game, right? Kevin Stefanski, when he creates plays, he's supposed to come up with blocking assignments. When the Cleveland Browns offense was great, Bill Callahan was the reason that Kevin Stefanski could just concentrate on the passing game. And he also had Alex Van Pelt to help with that. So Kevin Stefanski moved on from Alex Van Pelt. Bill Callahan eventually went with his son to Tennessee. They both got fired. He's available. But Bill Callahan designed the runs. He designed the concepts in which they block each other. So if they're based on this front, this is the way we're going to block it. He's also going to put in the run plays that we're going to run. Are we going to run gap schemes this week? Are we going to run outside zone, inside zone? All of those things. Kevin Stefanski has not done a good job in their running assignments. There are multiple times where guys look like they don't know who to block. They don't block guys that are right in front of them. I don't know what the protection schemes are because there's too many guys coming free. Guys seem like they don't know what they're doing. They've been doing that for 3 years, well, 2.5 years. So that's another part of it. We skim over that because we don't talk about it. We want to talk about what the quarterback and whether he's sabotaging, if Kevin's sabotaging the quarterback. I want to know if Kevin knows what he's doing up front and he has the blocking assignments right. But that's what happens when you do narrative-based content because your team's not good and you're always looking for another quarterback. Quarterbacks in 26 or 27, I don't know. Nita, talent, Shedeur financially, Shedeur fan base, Shedeur. No more research or analysis needed. Also, Dylan, next time, don't have Shedeur having to tell you to get off the field. You had your I knew somebody was going to bring that up. He's like, hey, listen, my back was hurt for 2 seconds. Here's another thing. Always remember, and look, I always understand this. People blew me up. I had a bunch of stuff. Like, what do you think about Dylan Gabriel's girlfriend? Listen, shout out to all the girlfriends and wives. This business is crazy. Here's what I'll say about, I'll use my example. Rosie don't like football. She watch a couple of players and watch it. Other than that, you're not going to see her nowhere. You might see us out to eat. You could catch our blog. Matter of fact, if you're a member, you can catch all our blogs. You know about me and Rosie's relationship. Rosie she don't get involved in stuff. So when you get into this game, it's best. I know it's hard because we just all want to protect the loved ones, right? We got a lot of aunties and uncles in here for sure. We want to protect them. Sometimes it gets a little hairy out there. It's always best that your family, my mom and dad, they want to be in the comment section. They would love to. They refrain from doing. You know why? Because it opens you up to people that are going to say things. So people say, what do you think about that? I'm like, look, it's natural. People are going to want to protect their loved ones. They want to stick up for them. But when you're a public figure, yeah, it could get kind of nasty because people don't take those things nice. Nish speaking. Welcome back, fam. Still praying for your peace and comfort. Great show today. Shadeur about to deliver some sizzle. Tomorrow about to be one of them, man. I can't wait for tomorrow because you get an opportunity. That's why it's funny. You get an opportunity to calm all that down. You get an opportunity to calm all that down. And by the way, you can go 2-1 as a starter. I like that. My condolences, you've been missed amongst the media programming. Ellie Mars, thank you so much for, and I missed pulling up on y'all too, man. You know, shout out to everybody that give them prayers and thoughts, man. I really felt them, man. He was like, you know, we still got, you know, I still got a funeral to go to next week on Wednesday. So I'm going to be out on Wednesday. I'll be in Canton, but I'll be back. You know, it's crazy because, you know, during the holiday season, it's kind of wild where, you know, you lose people. And shout out to my family, you know, my cousins in here and all the people. Shout out to the Bush family and the George family. So I always say this, you know, a lot of this stuff is cool, but this ain't real life. We talk about football. We talk about the Browns or whatever football topic we talking about, man. Your people is the most important. And you could be here one day and gone tomorrow. So it's all about what you living and putting down. None of this stuff ain't gonna move you. Like nobody ain't gonna never say, here stands a man that had the greatest take in the world about the Cleveland Browns. Nah, that ain't what testament you live on. Like your testament is what you do for people, how you act with people, what you do for each other, how you treat everybody, and as you trying to put your footsteps forward in a way that God would have you move. So, you know, when things like this happen, it's just a reminder to be thankful for what you do have and thank him for what he's given you. So I appreciate you guys being able to take my mind off of it a little bit and talk a little bit about something that it really ain't that important in the scheme of things, right? Again, I got to put Sandra Speaks, man. Sandra Speaks true. We got to keep putting that up there. Listen, MVP. Listen, can y'all hear this? Nope, you can't hear that. I got to fix that. I'll never be putting it on here. Let me see if we got it. Let me see if y'all can. Nope. Yeah, that's you laughing. Yeah, you're laughing at the bill. See, I had ability to play these little things all the time. They can hear that, Rosie? Sounding? They heard that? Okay, cool. All right. So we got sound effects too. Let's see. The take's been dull this week without G. Bush, the barbershop, the media, this propaganda. Can't see the plot being out looking. Hey, I couldn't believe it. Y'all ain't seeing this? How you not see this? It's right in front of your face. This is why always sometimes when you unplug, you get dialed back in. When you unplug, you get dialed back in. Sometimes they be on the wrong frequency. How you not see? How you not see what's cooking right in front of you? Especially if the Browns keep winning these games. It sound cute. See, y'all always is 2-3 seconds late. It sounds good. Oh, we'll just package these picks and trade up. Are they really going to do that? Are they really doing that? No, neither. Sandra leading the village with gifts. Much love. Thank you. G. Bush, they building with Shedeur is cheap and a higher ceiling, period. Sorry for your loss. Hey, Jihad Goldsby. I tell you what, you said it in a much condensed version. They building like let's look at this landscape here, fellas. I mean, people are building around J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix. I'll wait. Jinx 696. AB is JB is the spook who sat by the door. A great book. He's always the smartest guy in the room. Shadeur is his gold mine. Yeah, coach, O-line and receivers are in 26. I don't think y'all I'm just sitting here selling. I'm just telling you, bro. What owner who is building a $1 billion stadium, billions, he's going to go. That's why the whole Dylan Gabriel, this is why nobody wanted to say. This is why the whole Dylan Gabriel thing was crazy. This was the beginning and end for Kev. Hold on. You meaning to tell us that is what you were? We can't build with that. We can't build. And then people say, trade him. Why would you? Look, let me ask y'all a question really quickly. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Seriously. If tomorrow the Cleveland Browns say at the end of the season, they say, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback moving into 2026. He will take all the first team reps. He will be the first team quarterback. We will build something around him. Now, chances are they won't say that. But let me just ask you a question. Honest situation. How many, first and foremost, put a 1 in the chat if they would sell all their season tickets out, or 2 if they don't. If they name him the starter for 26, will they sell out their entire season ticket pool? 2, let's dig a little deeper. If they do name him the starter, do they make more money or less money? And how many national television games will they get? I'd say if he's the starter, 5 at least. Now, mind you, they ain't on national TV no times this year. None. Rosie, can we get some ones in here? Let me show these on the, because because look, we just, let me see. Hold on. We just putting the ones in here. Is it sold out? I'm just asking. Is the season, if they say he's the starting quarterback tomorrow for 20, where are the 2s at? I know, listen, I mean, they're selling the stadium out. I can't find the 2. I can't find the 2. But like, yeah. By the way, how many national television games are you getting? So the upside from a business standpoint is we'll take another quarterback, get no lineman, have him start, and we don't sell out any tickets, and we're never on TV again. Okay. Get this work, G. Bush and Rosie, Kool-Aid Mafia and Dog Pound. We salute you. We appreciate you. Selmo Fudd, thank you so much, my guy. Glad to be back with you. Great message to Shedeur, G. Bush. Don't let nobody dim your light. Don't do it. Chocolate Thunder 67. Big fat cent. Let your light so shine. It's showtime, baby. Hashtag cook, G. Bush. It's time to go. It's time to go. Sir Charles T, I joined UCSS day one. I find it funny how Jason the Bull act towards super chat questions like they are dying, but they have been asking players questions for years. If your player act like that, let me tell you this. I can only give you my thoughts on the situation. The reason why I take the time to read super chats is because, first and foremost, the barbershop, that is what my brand is. A lot of people know me from this, but prior to this, my barbershop was on radio for years on 92.3 The Fan. And anybody could tell you, I take the most calls in the industry. When I put them phone lines out, we got 4 lines. They started calling 6 lines. 2 of them lines was the hotline. Ask about me. We ran that show, and we was the only weekend show, according to Cleveland Scene magazine, who had a top 5 radio show once a week. Do you know how cold you got to be? Once a week. And the barbershop was up there with the Rizzos, with whether it was Emmett and Gerard or was Carmen and Lima, right? Afternoon drive, top 5, one day a week. And that's because of the people. The people were fervent, the people. And the reason why the people came in and pulled up and showed up was because they were a vocal part of what the show was. And as we transitioned to this platform, we said we want to make the people involved. Our memberships is about a collective coming together, talking about certain things. It don't even necessarily have to do with sports all the time. We want those people to be a vital part of what we do. So for me, if I got to stay here, my show could be 2 hours. Bro, I'll stay here 5 hours if I got to read the comments, because I believe that when you donate your money to be heard, or you put a comment up, it's my job to deliver the energy to add that part of the show. That's what I do. I can't speak for nobody else and what they do and their ideas about super chats, but for me, I'm gonna give you your money's worth. I'm not gonna just gloss over it and move over it or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna give you the time that you deserve, and I appreciate you guys coming over here, even messing with me. So I'm gonna show the gratitude. That's how I do. That's how my grandma would tell me, hey, listen, you give people their money's worth. And that's what I try to do on every platform that I'm on. You ain't never seen G. Bush half step nowhere. I'm going to come on that show. I'm going to be suited and booted with energy. When you pull up on a barbershop, I'm going to be over here with that energy. You go to the Bleacher Report, I'm going to be on that. You know, I deliver the same level because I believe in entertainment and adding value. That's what I do. I appreciate y'all too. If a player acted that way towards their questions, they would call them unprofessional. I'm only super chatting you till you get it right. I appreciate your support, sir, my man. I appreciate you. And by the way, if you don't agree with me, y'all know this. How many super chats I read that don't agree with me? All of them. And we're gonna go back and forth. And we're gonna bring receipts. So you ain't gotta just agree with me. Shoot, let's have that conversation. That's what make the barbershop splash. It ain't got to get contentious. We're going to have fun with it. Shedeur come out and dominate Cam. The NFL teams needing a quarterback will look foolish for not picking him in the first round. If he come out, think about it. If he come out and show the same level skill set, be like, well, Cam could do that. I could do that. Cam got a similar offense. Let me show you what I can do. And Cam been getting reps. The offense built around Cam. I just got here 2 weeks ago. I just been doing this a couple of weeks ago. What we're talking about is the evaluation. That's what we're trying to get to. That's what we're trying to get to, Angela. Lady Sweetness, Ward, Sampson, and Njoku are out this game on injury list. They just went on the list. Oh, that's Denzel Ward, huh? Denzel Ward, Dylan Sampson, and Njoku out. All right. See, we got people breaking news. Breaking news. Harold Fanning, get ready. Coach D, Next Generation, thanks for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Yoshi Doshi, I believe that Stefanski wanted Shedeur on the draft night and a relationship sour. Last few weeks, we've seen a relationship rebuild too little, too late. Here's the thing. I've always said this. If Kevin would get his game together, if Kevin Stefanski would just understand what it was, he could save his job. He could. But he got to get on board. He got to get on board. Like, look, bro, all this, you can help yourself out, Kevin. Tell Tommy Reese your job is to go to every single, listen, you tell Tommy Reese, I want you to take off. I need you to be going to sit with these college coaches. I want you to give me a hybrid playbook. I want you to be the most innovative play caller we got. Your task is to sit with the best minds in college football. You need to be sitting with the best mind. I don't care where you got to go, high school, college, pros. And you come back and put together me a dynamic playbook that is state-of-the-art that we're going to run with the Cleveland Browns. And then Kevin Stefanski, I need you to go to a retreat somewhere. You need to sit down. You need to work on your communication skills. Get you some media training. Figure it out. And then evolve, grow. He can save his job. Man, humans have a great opportunity. It is why we are the dominant species on this planet. Because we are breathing, thinking, relating, moldable, shapeable, thinking creatures. You can pivot. You can get better. You can do things. You can learn from your mistakes. A lot of times people are, people who get stuck in their way turned into dinosaurs, man. Could Kevin save his job? Sure. If Shedeur Sanders is playing well, Tommy Reese looks like he's coming up with offense, Andrew Berry keeps drafting players, Kevin Stefanski can stick around. But the problem is, are you going to move out the way? And are you going to empower other people to help you? That's the key. Beautifully blessed. Watson did good at helping Shedeur in Vegas. Deshaun Watson, quiet as kept. I've interviewed Deshaun Watson before. Deshaun Watson is a bright football mind when it comes to the quarterback position. When you put him on that whiteboard and he has to diagram what's going on, Deshaun Watson is one of the smartest dudes in the league. Don't let the narrative get you twisted. He knows what he's talking about. Shedeur Sanders said 3. JJ still missed the ball. Rewatch the game. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, Black Acre, White Acre, 5019. Appreciate the super chat. I need him to reel Jerry Jeudy in. Hey, Jerry Jeudy, it's an opportunity for you. I'll get $100, 100 yards this week. You gonna take it? Ms. Bell says sabotage is to deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct They can see Webster Dictionary about changing the meaning. I argue, Ms. Bell, sometimes your incompetence can unintentionally obstruct a lot of things. See, sometimes you're just not good at what you're doing. And that is a natural deterrence for people who are on your roster. I just don't think Kevin Stefanski is a good mind. Not when it comes to play calling and constructing that. Sherland Gaming. When the Shedeur Sanders debate started back in the draft, the haters called it conspiracy and moved the goalposts. Now, if we look back, theories are being proven. That's the thing. Always look at like when you exaggerate, oh, it's conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy. Come on, bro. Like the fact that the fact that people will imagine that everybody who's in a position of power is an honest arbiter is completely false. There are nefarious people in every levels of society. Are you meaning to tell me there's no nefarious people in the media? No nefarious coaches? No nefarious general managers or front office executives or owners? So you meaning to tell me everybody that is involved with this little area over here with a bunch of rich people, power, and ego, everybody's on the up and up? Ain't nothing going wrong. Ain't nobody nefarious? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. I could tell you 7 scandals with clergy, church, politics, government officials, corporate America. These are the biggest scandals. These are the pillars of our society. But yet and still, you try to tell us that this little old area over here, nothing to look at. Everything's going to up and up. We're going to take your word for it. Stop. Yoshidoshi, NIL made executives love control. NIL gave people get off my lawn money. If I'm a millionaire, it's hard to go back working for people. I always ask you a question this, though. You ever notice this about the control factor? See, what they do is they use money and how much people make to sully the narrative on players and the greed and the fact that they don't deserve it. But you ever notice that general managers and coaches' contracts are not divulged? Wonder why? Because that's the way they move. That's the way the narrative is shaped. See, the narrative is that coaches are yeomen, clergy, guys that are akin to firefighters and police officers that do a job that's thankless. They try to act like they working on what? Minimum wage? No, they get millions too, but they don't divulge that because then they could play the role of the spoiled, over the top, arrogant, extra coach, extra player, extra guy who's a diva. That's the way it be working. I'm just letting you know. Say I'm lying. Coach D Next Gen, Shedeur Sanders needs a message needs this message before the game. This was straight from God. He needs to be exactly who God designed him to be and let the chips fall where they may. And the only reason I said that is because I lived it. I got chills just a little bit when you said it. I got chills a little bit when you said it. Because it's hard. It's hard trying to be a light in darkness. It's hard. As a star, you got to create your own fusion. That's why stars are beautiful, constellations and bodies. And it's like when you the sun, think about the amount of gravity that you rest. The star is so massive that the gravity of your own mass wants to crush you. But the inner core of what you are, the fusion, is the light. And it expands. And there was a constant struggle between the pressure of the mass on the outside and the inner fusion pushing all of the light out. and it's a very slim dance. But when that fuel runs out, guess what starts to happen? The star collapses under its own weight. You know what it becomes? A black hole. There was always the pressure, but you have to create the inner force that does not matter about the outside pressure. That's why you got to be rooted. That's why you got to be stamped. That's why you got to be solid. And you can't never stop that light that you got, because the second you stop that light is the second that pressure gets to you, the second that everything collapses. And you can't count or no, you can't start a star. A star is only self-containing. It's only self-containing. And you wonder why people be so salty at stars all the time in real life. Why are you mad at stars? Why are you mad at people that's popular? Well, most of the time, you got to realize men can create everything they want to, but a star. Why do you think they ask all the time? Why do you think you're so popular? Why is it that people resonate with you? See, people be hating stars because they can't become one themselves. See, never. I was in astronomy bag. I'm sorry. This is what happened when I'm gonna finish this up. I'm sorry. Shedeur Sanders don't trust Judy. That's why he didn't throw it. She'll land in gaming. That's part of it. Jerry Judy be giving up on routes too. Jerry Judy be doing all that. But here's the thing too. Find you somebody. Find you 2 or 3. Is somebody on there that want to eat? You tell him, hey, if you don't run this route hard, I'll throw the ball to Harold Fanning Jr. every time. Hey, Cedric, tell me, you want to eat? Somebody want to eat. Find you 1 or 2. James Woodard, I'd rather just them say they want a white quarterback. Well, they're not going to do that. Why would you do that? And then let me just keep this real too. People get so defensive, and we heard about this, and we heard, and I tell people about this all the time. You know, when a matter of race comes up, this is par for the course, right? Is it right? No. When you talk about race and we talk about what it means at quarterback, are there some people that, you know, are still uneasy about quarterbacks that happen to be black? Sure. There's some of that population. You know, but when we talking about the conversations with quarterbacks, when Baker Mayfield was here, I got called every name in the book. By the way, I got called every name in the book when Deshaun Watson was here. Oh, by the way, I get called a lot of names because Shedeur Sanders is here. Like it's again, it's based on who you like. I've moved the situation to understand sports is in a political nature. It is who the quarterback is seen as the face of the organization. Some people are not going to like the face of the organization because they don't identify with it. Some people are, right? So you're going to have factions. But the reality of the situation is that comes with the territory. That's in every walk of life. That just is what it is. That's what our country is. So when people be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're talking about race. I'm like, guys, it's part of it. What are you talking about? You can either acknowledge it or put your head in the sand. It is what it is. Sources head coach, Georgia Peach, 2647. I wouldn't mind it. I asked Zach Jackson about it. I think he could be a head coach. By the way, I think they need to keep him on his defense. That should be a prerequisite. Jim Shorts has to stay. Carson Schlesinger, Myles Garrett is playing that. Listen, I need all of them to play exactly the way they play. David Walker. Angelians is right. All of Shedeur's wide receivers are in the league. Horn, Carr, Carolina, Wester with Baltimore, Shepard, Green Bay. Fix the line and let them cook. Man, look. Hey, for for a team that got propped up. They sure seem to have a lot of prospects to go to the league. Right? Yoshi Doshi, I go to Planet Fitness too. I'll come back. I'll call you. Hey, G. Bush, what's your thoughts on the footage of Batonio and Conklin falling down on purpose? The ultimate ain't the same when you're gone. God's music, I feel like, again, I don't feel like they fell down on purpose. I just feel like they weren't good. Joe Batonio has not played good. He got swim moved. What he did is basically you try to put his face in a block. That's rule number one. You have to see what you're hitting. You have to bring your base, bring your feet. And he got lazy and thought, hey, it's the goal. It's 4th and 1. Let me dive at his ankles and legs. And he got swam. Like, he's like, get off me. As a defensive lineman, that was predictable. So you're diving at legs. That's not what it is. Like, that was a lazy move. He got Olayed. And look, when a person says they're retiring, Joe Batonio had no disrespect. He's had a great career. At some points, people thought maybe a border Hall of Fame career. I wouldn't say that. He was a very good player for a long time. He's not good anymore. No disrespect, but he's played a lot of years. He's used up a lot of reps. And it's just a situation where they need new linemen. And so that is just goes to show you, he got beat by a dude that ain't even really that good. Deanna Bowens, thank you so much. You became a member for 2 months. And by the way, the ones is in here. David Walker, more money, and they will get a Sunday or Monday night game too. Facts. If you feel like Shedeur ain't gonna listen. But they'll say, G. Bush, it's all about winning. But you just told us all year it wasn't about winning, remember? Didn't y'all tell us it wasn't about winning? It was about the new stadium? So when I bring this up, what are you going to say? Well, they have to get a quarterback because it's about winning. But you just said this year wasn't about winning. So what is it? I'm waiting for the conversation. I've given you the data. I mean, this is not very refutable. Cam and Shedeur, 1 win apiece. Meeting starters, wow. This is crazy. Here's the thing. You got to start looking at it from their perspective. If I can get a guy who's playing quarterback, who's been put in a disadvantaged situation, and there's a guy who's been the number 1 pick, he's been that guy who's been getting the reps. If I got a guy in the 5th round that can play just as good or better than the guy that's in the 1st round, and they got 2 terrible offenses, why am I talking about getting another quarterback? What are we talking about here? That's the conversation. Pretty Ricky, what they called him, sending love for Virginia. Shout out to VA. Shout out to the Clips. I always enjoy your commentary. Be blessed and stay encouraged. Thank you so much, VA. Great musicians down there. You got the Neptunes, Teddy Riley, Timberland, Magoo, Missy, Genuine, I think is from, I don't know if Genuine is from there. Who else? The Clips is from there. Who else from Virginia? Shout out to them though. Shout out to them. Lethal Gaming Inc. If y'all trade 12 and he balls, they will never. They will say he was never going to win in Cleveland, blocking their own blessings. Why you? That's why I'm glad we ain't got stupid people. Why would you listen? I'm not. People they always G. Bush. Let's trade him away. No. Guns N' Roses or AC/DC? Come on, Guns N' Roses changed. I'm gonna go with Guns N' Roses. Come on, man. That's easy. Hey, Rosie, do we got to do a top 5? Matter of fact, we got a top 5. We got top 5 out right now, right? I got top 5. If you remember, top 5 gifts that kids went crazy for. Make sure you check it out. It's a really good one. And by the way, we got top 5 most overplay songs. You might see a little Guns N' Roses, AC/DC. Make sure you check that out as a member. We do top 5. Matter of fact, shout out to top 5. There it is right there. Black Acre, White Acre. The CBs is SS Shedeur Sanders team. God is so good. And we know all the time God is good. R-Mac Dog 4774 stupid Stefanski sealed his fate with the pick of Dylan Gabriel. So good ridden. Who cares if he gets another job? He's a loser. It's time for him to go. Full stop. Period. Hey man, I'm not a hater. I want everybody to be gainfully employed. We need people in the economy, but you don't mean you got to have it here. Miss Melanated, everyone is getting hurt right before this game. See, I look at it like this. This is why you need to give an opportunity. We want to see, hey, listen, people getting hurt. Hey, I just need 2 or 3. And then I don't want to hear nobody say, well, he had all the advantages. Nah, everybody was hurt and he was cooking. Don Peasy Weezy, when Shadeur dominates Sundays, the OG Mel Kiper better be vindicated. Wasn't the biggest fan of him prior, but Unc was 100% correct about Shadeur evaluation. That tape is going to age well. That's going to age like a fine wine. Because now, in real time, we're going to get to see it. G. Bush, Derwin Brannon, we lament Kevin Stefanski's communication skills, yet he has an Ivy League degree in communication. Shaking my head. He just playing in our faces. New head coach in 26, wrist up. Kevin, sometimes people is good at communicating when they want to communicate. Sometimes it ain't about whether they can or they have a lack of skills. It's a lack of will or want. G. Bush explained the viral lineman video where they took a dive on 4th and 1 against the 49ers. Michael Stevenson. Yeah, that's one of them joints where basically what they do, if it's 4th and 1, you're trying to root hog. You're trying to get down low and root hog guys off the line of scrimmage so that you can gain some leverage. The problem is Joe Bitonio did not keep his head up, and the other linemen dove without keeping their head up, and they got swam. So a swim move is just basically where you take a step to the right, you move, and you overswim, and then you tackle the guy in the backfield. On that play, he needed to be firing out. I don't even like what they did. That's a root hog technique. I don't like when people do that because it doesn't give you any running room. All you do is lay on the ground, and it stops the running back in the backfield because you're laying on the ground, obstructing the vision. We used to do that sometimes on the goal line. It's usually more on goal line than anything, but I didn't like the technique, and that's what it was. Jab 9237. Half of Cleveland fan base thought like losing is a family heirloom. They scared to let go of grandma lost, daddy lost. We gonna keep this tradition strong. CBs look in the box, not at the wrapping. Let me tell y'all something. Sometimes people feel they got a monopoly. Some people have a monopoly on winning. Some people have a monopoly on losing. And sometimes people, you ever see somebody complain brag? Complain braggers are the worst. You be like, man, I was so sick the other day, man. Whew, man, I was sick as heck, bro. Oh, for real? You was sick, man? That ain't nothing, dog. I was sick 3 weeks ago. Doctor told me I had 6 minutes to live. You like, what? Okay. Yeah, man, I had one of the best sandwiches I ever ate over this little market over there. Oh, for real? Yeah, that sandwich sound good, but it wasn't better than the sandwich I had. This sandwich I had was one of the greatest sandwiches. It won 3 awards. Won 3 awards in the magazine, man. Like, man, I went through something tough the other day. Had a couple of people pass away. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy, man. But let me tell you something. I had 7 people pass away. You're like, dang, bro. Do you want the monopoly on bad things? And sometimes when you're dealing with Cleveland Browns fans, that's the only thing that keep you together is losing and drafting new quarterbacks. So sometimes that's where they be at. Kitty 2.5. Did you see the video where the offensive line whiffed on purpose on 4th and 1? Yeah, I seen that. Again, sometimes I don't be seeing it. It's not about on purpose. It's just incompetence. That was nasty work. Nasty. Well, what wasn't nasty is the fact that we got almost 6,000 people. Y'all pulled up and showed up. We want to be happy that we back. You see it, Kool-Aid Mafia, wrist up. You see it, the hat is here. We still doing it. Drink is here. We still kicking it. Make sure you check us out, man. We appreciate every one of you. We want to thank you as well for all the supporters. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Actually, I'm not even going to tell you that. We're going to be watching that game tonight. Let us know if you're going to be watching that. Fernando Mendoza versus Ohio State. We're going to be at it. Let's talk about it. We're going to get to that. And then, by the way, we'll see you tomorrow. UCSS. We'll be back with the post-game show like regular. And then we'll be back with the Barbershop post-game. For that, with that being said, you never know what G. Bush might show at radio, television, internet. But if you want a fresh cut, fresh take on sports, with a Barbershop, keep them clippers. Have a good rest of your evening. And as always, like I always say, even though we be hating on them, it ain't hating. We just be calling it out. It's always, go Browns.